Okay. I think I'm live on Twitch, but not on YouTube. Oh no, I am. Yeah. Sweet. It says event not started. Oh no. Okay. Sick. Cool. I close out of this. And then I go to let's go to, where's my dashboard? Just go to this for now. Should be able to see messages from both chats. Okay. I need to turn down the volume in game. I can find a moment. Here we go. Just everything. I think that's... Yeah, that's probably good. And here, I'll turn... I'm probably pretty good volume to wise too. Okay. Okay. Salutations. We're back. With a vengeance. I'm still farming ritual and making a crap ton of loot. Or I should say currency. Doing it. And I'm taking no deli nodes, but I feel like I have like a maybe 25-30% chance every map to get a deli mirror, which is always nice when your build can handle it. Look at these maps. This one's not even super juiced. It just has some good altar mods. What was that? I'm on Uber Strict Plus, and I still feel like this loot filter is a little bit weak. Although I do want to see unmakings. I'm pretty sure these are... Oh no, I don't. These are cheap as crap. What the heck? I think the multiple Atlas tree thing has brought down the price of unmaking orbs quite significantly. Whereas normally these are like 2 to 3C a pop, right up there with old compass prices. Now there's no compasses at all. But whereas orbs of unmaking used to at least, like at bare minimum, go for 2C a piece, now they're like 0.4C. That's crazy. I've never seen them that cheap. I'm not going to be making temples when I don't have Alva Spect on the tray. I feel like whatever temple you make when you don't have Alva Spect is terrible. It's not even worth it. I don't even walk into the temple. I don't even know why I'm going for full clears, to be honest with you. The whole point of the strategy is to do ritual altars and harvest. That's it. That's it. Everything else on the map is worthless. It's we hit yellows. Yellow juice right now is worth quite a lot. Pancake, how are you doing? This isn't Dota, you're right, and you're on YouTube, which is also quite interesting. I haven't seen you on Twitch, but I stream to YouTube once in a blue moon, and here you are. Freems, how's it going? Freems from YouTube. We got Freems on YouTube. We got Pancake on... Or sorry, we got Freems on Twitch. Pancake on YouTube. Salutations to you both. Oh dude, this would be genius. I can get both chats displayed. That'll be, okay, listen, not this stream, I'm sorry, but next stream, I promise I'll have something sorted out with that. I'm gonna have both chats, my stream, my Twitch chat and my YouTube chat displayed on the screen at the same time. I think that would make it, I think that would just bring everything together. Here shows both chats, okay. Freems knows. That's what I do it. I actually didn't even know. Hold up, Freems. I need to subscribe to your YouTube channel. I didn't even know you had a YouTube channel to do YouTube content. Give me 1 second here. What happened to my... Dude. There it is. Let's look you up, Freems. Apparently there's also a hip-hop group named Freems. Wait, I actually kind of want to... Hold up. No copyright, please. Type in Freems Twitch. This was the video that I was looking for, like, weeks ago when I streamed. You remember? Maybe you were, I don't know if you remember last time you were here, Frames. Last time you were here, I guess Destiny did actually have it posted to his YouTube. Maybe I actually brought it up, but all I did was type in Frames Twitch, and for some reason, well, probably for the reasons that you show up in the description. But of course, there you are. There's Puff Shake. Who else is here? Leon. You're right here. So, but I don't see you on YouTube. When I type in Frames YouTube, when I type in Frames Twitch, when I type in Frames, we got the hip hop group. You did a few times a year ago. You never stream on YouTube. You have 3 chats. Do you also stream on Kick? What's going on? What other platforms can I find Frames Media on? If I was oh so inclined. If I was a Frames connoisseur of Frames content. Tried Kick as well. How is Kick? I have no bone to pick with Kick. I have like no moral quandary with. I mean, gambling is not great, I guess, or whatever. But I don't see how Twitch has like a. I don't see the distinction between how Twitch used to promote it, I guess, ostensibly by just allowing it on this platform. I kind of see it as all business or whatever. I'm not even like, I wouldn't even be streaming gambling content on Kick anyways. Basically, I see no issue with streaming on Kick. Well, actually, I do see an issue with streaming on Kick because Restream.io's basic plan only lets you restream out to 2 different platforms. What's up, Wolves? How are you doing? Just Twitch now. I might multi-stream again, but not YouTube. Why not YouTube? I feel like YouTube's one of those staples. Like, you gotta do YouTube. Because discoverability. If you stream on YouTube, that opens up the possibility for you. Although I should actually consider this. Not everybody that watches your YouTube videos wants to see you stream as well. So I'll probably make this private. I don't, as insofar as like, it's not going to be a VOD that shows up in my videos. Play too much YouTube. Okay, that's fair. But you also stream on Twitch, where I know copyrighted music is a big issue. How do you get around that issue on Twitch? I'm just curious. I think the gambling can be insidious, but doesn't outweigh. Oh, I see. Doesn't outweigh my want for freedom. Is that wait? Do you stream on Kick because you stream content that you can't stream on Twitch? Is that what you're saying when you say you want freedom? But you just never got caught. That's crazy. Anytime I stream, like for instance, I just streamed 2 minutes, about 30 minutes ago. I have like a 2-minute VOD up of me in the first 30 seconds playing music that I'm pretty sure is copyrighted, although it's like 15-year-old music. And I wondered if that VOD was going to get flagged. No, I'm just talking about the morals of gambling. I see. I think broadcasting gambling to kids has a lot of ethical implications. I just don't see how Twitch is like... Well, and I'm not saying this to criticize Twitch. I'm just saying, when it comes to streaming on Kick, I don't see... Like, there are a lot of options. For instance, here's one cool thing that Kick has. You have the ability to filter out gambling-related content. Also, basically content that might not be suitable for kids. I think you have the option to filter that out. All I'm really saying is, I know some people say, I'll never stream on Kick. It's just a moral thing. I don't see them. I see it as a disgusting platform. I'm not of that mindset. I don't see it as a disgusting platform. That's all I'm really saying. And the only reason I really say that is because you said that you streamed on Kick, and I was curious as to how streaming on Kick is from the broadcaster's perspective, knowing that you come from Twitch, knowing that I could see myself streaming on Kick as well. But also knowing that I have never streamed on Kick, and when you say you have streamed on Kick, I'm curious as to like a broadcaster's perspective. Have you noticed I don't know how to say this, because like the perspective that you'd have on this might be totally different than mine, especially if you stream politics. But are the people that join discussions. That's what I want to focus on. The people that join discussions, the average viewer, the person that will come into a Freems stream when Freems is on Kick, the couple of times you did stream to Kick, is that person like, you know, pretty normal? And when I say normal, I guess I should let me contextualize that. Are they basically, did it feel like as though it was just streaming on Twitch? Or did it genuinely feel different? Were you sitting there broadcasting on Twitch, or maybe you were multi-streaming, right? Did you notice your Kick chat was like particularly angsty, particularly we'll say TOSE? I'm not even sure. Like, are slurs allowed on Kick? Are you allowed to just go on there and start dropping N-bombs with the RDR? Or do they have even some regulations with regards to that? I just think it's, I know that it's just like the gambling thing, they have no regulations on. The hot tub, whatever thing, but you can do that on Twitch too. I don't think Twitch has any regulations other than just like, you know, no pornography, but same thing with Kick. Slurs are okay on Kick, I think. Like, any slur? I guess that would be one difference. I don't really mind about that kind of stuff though too, because like I just as a personal thing, sans any kind of terms of service, I've been trying to clean up my language. I think it just kind of sounds... it defeats my point whenever I am speaking and like half of my vernacular is just curse words. So I've been taking that on as like a personal journey, personal challenge of like, I wonder if I could just curse less, lean on filler words less. So I don't see it as like a, I need to get off Twitch. You know, I just have such a dirty sailor's mouth that I can't keep tied down, that I have to get on Twitch. I'm looking for an alternate platform to stream to because I just can't keep my mouth out of trouble. It felt like, probably meant to say like streaming on Twitch in 2017. That's very contextual for me. Thank you for that. Streaming on Twitch in 2017 is what streaming on Kick felt like. I didn't use it. Anybody think it's okay? You can get banned on Kick for slurs. Holy moly. What up, Blue Pawn? Daniel Kappa. I haven't seen you on Twitch in quite a while, but to see you here on YouTube is fantastic. Daniel Kappa, I actually have something interesting to say. I've been meaning to say this to you, but I haven't seen you in the digital space in a while. You may remember this. It's been a while. It's been like probably a few years at this point, but we had a conversation, you and I, via text, where I remember you were telling me, and you'd been telling me this about your job and the things that you do, about how it's always, you know, never too late to go back to school, never too late to go. And I think this was in respect to what you do, which I'm flubbing right now. I can't remember what you do for a living. You definitely don't have to say it or repeat it. But you've been encouraging me to take a leap, go back, you know, it's never too late. I did actually do that. I did not actually go to brick and mortar institution. But for a year, and I had been off stream, I'll say like kind of documenting this journey in my Discord. I'd been going, I have display capture going. I'd been taking this online curriculum known as the Odin Project, going through learning web development, learning, the ins and outs of becoming a full stack web developer. So yeah, I felt like I wanted to tell you about this because we talked about something like this, and I kind of made this jump or whatever. And then now I'm back here and not working in industry as a web developer. But you know, I did it. I spent a year of my life going through that. I built my own website. What did I do? I built my own website. I built a calculator. I tried building some games. I was successful at some of them. I built Tic-Tac-Toe. I built an impossible version of Tic-Tac-Toe. I learned a fuck ton of things that I'm wondering if I'm ever going to start. Like, I learned about the Minimax algorithm to implement that Tic-Tac-Toe impossible mode. You can check all this out on my GitHub. I learned GitHub. I learned about Linux. I just learned about fucking... I feel like I'm... Whereas I was once a fledgling child operating computers as though they were like hieroglyphics from an ancient foreign land, and I'm, you know, and this is like 29-year-old man saying this, like I'm a 29-year-old man and I still feel like I'm a child using a computer because I never really had a good grasp of it. Now I reapproach you, you know, re-enter the streaming world, sort of a I don't want to say I'm like a Jedi master. I'm like a Padawan, you know. Like I know, again, like I know Linux. I can work a terminal. I know how to navigate my file system using just file commands. In addition to that, I know GitHub. I know Git commands. I can share an app with you guys. You guys want to check my tic-tac-toe out? I can fork a repo. You know what I'm saying? Like I can do shit. I can load a Linux distro on a virtual machine and partition extra space if necessary to that distro from my main hard drive. And I also know what every single word I just used in that sentence meant. You know what I'm saying? I can speak the lingo. I can speak the jargon. I can confuse you. If you're a lay man or woman, it doesn't actually matter. If you're a person, a lay person, I can jumble your brain up with language and lingo regarding computer technology. And it actually makes sense. Like I can string together sentences. But more importantly than that, I have projects to show people. Like I said, I built my own website. I'm going to actually show you Daniel Kappa because, like I said, I am kind of... I'm not proud or anything, but... well, you know, fuck it, I am proud. This is my website. And I did follow a template, okay? I did not, come up with all this my own, completely on my own. I did follow a template, but I built it using Next.js framework, coded it all, in Visual Studio Code, and deployed it using Vercel. And it has a working email. This is I think I used, what did I use? NodeMailer. I used NodeMailer to hook this up. There's not a backend hooked up. I don't have there's I coded this all with Next.js. So Next.js has its own server-side actions handling. It handles server actions with its built-in support for that. So Next.js server, if you will. Wow, that looks great. Thank you. What Linux distros did you learn on? I used Xubuntu for the vast majority of my time using Linux. Audio mic is breaking up a little when you increase in pitch. I appreciate that. I'll just turn it down just a little bit. Thank you for telling me. Wolves, how are you doing, by the way? I've seen you on... I guess I'm now seeing you on YouTube this once. I can't remember the last time I saw you. I haven't seen you on Twitch. And Sven was here. Actually, the majority of people viewing me right now, this stream, this broadcast, the majority of you are on YouTube, which is kind of cool. That's not typical for a wired guitar stream. But that's awesome. That's actually, that's the direction I want it to go in. I would prefer it if... This is no shame on Twitch. I want to consolidate my viewership to YouTube and push the YouTube game. Really, that's not even true, okay? Actually, the real game is to tentacle out, okay? It's to put the wired guitars bunny in multiple different hats. We got to get the TikTok game. We got to get the YouTube game. We got to get the Twitch game. We got to just spread our tentacles out. You know what I'm saying? This is how I imagine an octopus. I guess I gotta give you the visual demonstration, okay? This is how I imagine an octopus would do something along the lines of but with 8 tentacles, and it would be going out and all omnidirectionally spreading its arms out when you do the octopus spread. Weeblord, back to business. Weeblord, I meant to do this for you, but you have not tuned in to the last few broadcasts, which is totally fine. You're not under any obligation to watch my Twitch or YouTube broadcasts, but given the fact that you are here right now, I want to take this time to do this and dedicate it to you specifically, because the last time you were here, subscribed, and there wasn't. I didn't have my Twitch subscription notification. I didn't have my alert box set up. So that's dedicated to you. I know it doesn't say your name, and I do apologize for that. It's because I didn't have Streamlabs. Streamlabs was not hooked up to my YouTube channel for the longest time. I guess they auto disconnect after a while. So all of the information from Streamlabs regarding my channel for the past few months, all of the subs I didn't get because I haven't been streaming, so it doesn't really matter except for the fact that your subscription and maybe anybody that followed over the last 1 or 2 streams that hasn't been caught up by Streamlabs. But now it's hooked up again. Now it's all synced. Thanks again for subscribing the other day. I love you. It's the thought that matters. I couldn't agree more. You are sexy. I appreciate that. Shift Z dot CS. I was wondering what your reaction was to my Discord message, but you don't have to talk about it now, of course. I think you're talking about, no, we were having a personal discussion. I will get back to you about that if you're talking about what I think you are. I'm doing all right. I got out of active duty a few weeks ago, and I'm on the National Guard now as a religious specialist. I'm finally done with being a military police officer. Haha. That is dope. My website just used a very basic mail to for years before I decided to stop paying for the domain. See, I use Vercel to host it, and Vercel has me paid for a certain number of visits. I try to do everything like without paying anything, and that was the solution I eventually came to. I did think about purchasing a domain name and like having my own official website with none of that, like, you know, my name .vercel.com, just like a wiredguitars.com or a daniellaszonsky.com, whatever. But man, I'm such a cheap lord. The way I see it, this is how I see it, and this is what I told myself too. I was like, I could go the full 9 yards, purchase my own domain name, and then when I start applying for jobs, it'll seem even more formal. Like, oh, look at this guy applying. He's got his own domain name. But I didn't go to a brick and mortar institution. When I was applying, and I did for a month, I applied to hundreds and hundreds of jobs as an aspiring web developer, trying to get some kind of job in web development. And then I was like, okay, I got to branch out further than web development. I have to just apply for any job in software development, software engineer, web developer, data analyst, data specialist. At a certain point, I was like, dude, I would do a data entry. I will literally do $15 an hour just inputting data using super basic old systems like PostScript. Or I don't even care. Like just get my fucking foot in the door in some kind of tech related job. I know I know enough at this point. I feel like I can do things, but I still wasn't getting hired. RIP. So then I gave up, and now I'm here. You streamed before now, but after the stream I was in. Yes, and the reason why it's not showing up on Twitch is because, if that's what, I guess I'm assuming the follow-up thing that you were going to say. I don't know if you were going to say this, Weeplord, but for a little bit there, Twitch was not picking up my VODs. I have re-enabled VODs since, and now Twitch and YouTube, YouTube should not save any of the VODs of this stream. Twitch will. So if you're watching this stream right now, and for whatever reason, me sitting in my hideout and talking about my life is enticing to you, and you're like, man, I want to hear this broadcast, but later on, in the future, you can do that by going to my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/wireguitar, and checking out the VOD. It will be there for you for like 90 days, and then Twitch will take it down, and that's not my fault because I don't have any control over that. If I missed, it means I was sleeping probably, as I probably do. Let's be clear. You guys never have to watch any of my streams, okay? You don't have to, no reason ever to justify why you weren't here. Bloot, thank you very much for the 50 bits. I appreciate that. By the way, Bloot, how are you doing? You threw bits at me earlier, but you didn't say anything in chat. Now you're throwing bits at me, you're not saying it in chat. Either way, I appreciate your presence, Bloot. Thank you very much for lurking. And yeah, I wanted to say, seriously, guys, if you're ever like, oh man, I feel bad, Wired streamed, I wasn't there, do not feel bad. I'm going to be here, okay? I'm going to be here every single day. I'm going to be making videos, I'm going to be making content, but you are under absolutely no obligation to watch it, and I'm absolutely not under any obligation to make it. You know, we're just here, we're having a fun time. I'm telling you I'm going to do it, that's what I'm going to do. But there's no obligation to any of this stuff. Okay, we're just chilling. We're here having a good time. None of this is any more serious than we make it. Okay, we're here chilling. Now let me, just so that there's like something to watch, because I was telling myself this in the shower today. I was like, dude, Pose is really, it's the perfect game to stream because the game is its own content. You could say same thing about MOBAs. You know, if you used to watch me play Dota, you probably feel like, man, I really watch liking people play. You as the viewer, I as the viewer too, when I'd watch people's streams. I enjoy watching Dota streams because it's like every game is a new story. But Poe has a similar feeling of dopamine to it. You just have to know how the story is being told here. In Poe, the story is being told by what the next big loot drop is, in my opinion, anyways. When I have watched people stream this game and not gotten bored, and the reason I don't get bored typically is because A, I'm invested in the journey of their build, and B, I get invested in like what the next big loot drop for their farming strat is. And thankfully, my farming strat is one that does drip feed dopamine because we're farming Ritual, and Ritual has a tendency to have several big drops happen throughout the course of a long farming session. For instance, yesterday we farmed, I shouldn't say farm, I hate saying farm when I'm referring to Path of Exile, because Path of Exile is anything but a game where you farm. Like, all of this collecting power is dedicated towards one singular goal of upgrading my character to feel powerful enough to farm tier 17s. Although then I just said the word farm again. Basically, I just want to take this character I want to take this character to kill tier 17s, because I have not killed tier 17s with Power Siphon. I killed them with Peaconk, and then I respec'd into this build. And this build is way tankier than my old build, but it does not do as much damage. So at some point soon, maybe when I level up, I want to take this character into a tier 17, and I want to juice the ever-living fuck out of it, and I want to run it, and I still want to face roll it. And then I want to go kill Ubers, and then I will have said that this character has completed everything that I wanted it to complete. So that's all I want to say about this character. What are you guys saying? Blue, you're doing good. I'm glad to hear that you're doing good. My friend is a data analyst. He works for a bank. That's actually a good idea. There's a bank by my house. I could apply. The thing is, I do currently have a source of income that is like consistent. It's I do food delivery, so I work for, I guess if you want to call it this, I'm a 1099. I'm a contractor or self-contracted employee. I get like a 1099. I get a I get a you know, I'm not formally employed by these companies, but I work for like Uber, DoorDash, Lyft, Spark with Walmart. But really, I did want to, I wanted to use what I had learned over the last year in some way for financial, like I want to go make money coding. So maybe you're right. Maybe I should go apply to bank. The bank by my house. Look at maybe this is why it wasn't working for me, but what I was thinking about doing was, and what I even tried doing was looking at websites for companies that are in my local area and kind of just like feeling how shit they are to navigate and saying to myself, oh, I could probably build something better than this. Just with the limited information I have. Like with what I know, I could probably put together a website better than this. Don't need to just fight, but where's the harm in it? Yes, every Dota game has a new story. It's like a procedural generation game. Yeah, but humans are the random elements, for sure. Dota does feel that way. Dota feels that way. And then I'm trying to think, because they're like with certain combinations of heroes, you can really have an Exodia type game. But I guess that just kind of plays more into the human element of it. Like one thing I really like to do playing Oracle was get some really nasty Oracle combination like Huskar, or really back in the old day when OD was super strong in 6.86. And in his old passive, he used to restore mana to allies in an area around them at a chance. So it's like a 40% chance at max level to restore 10% of your max mana to everyone that was in a 1200 AoE. So especially when OD was OP, when he was like a 1v9 carry hero at the start of 6.86, you would run Oracle and OD, and it was as disgusting as Omni Knight OD back in the. And if you remember, if you played, and I think you did, Weeblord, I think I remember you last stream or the other time you were in this conversation, we were talking about old Dota and how disgusting OD was, particularly in 6.86. And the thing is, people in that patch remember how powerful the combo was OD Omni, but people didn't know as much about OD Oracle. And OD Oracle was actually incredibly powerful, but not many people played Oracle. But OD Oracle was really broken because Oracle, one of the biggest limitations of that hero's ability to heal you throughout the mid game has always been his mana pool. And back in 6.86, you were able to just sit near an OD that was level 16 with his aura maxed out and get effectively all of your mana back whenever you cast enough spells around him to proc his passive a few times. I think I mathed it out and I was like, okay, statistically speaking, you should be at permanent max mana, or at least the ability to constantly cast spells if you're at least 1,000 mana on Oracle. I was like, if you're Oracle and you're playing with an OD and the OD has his aura maxed out, as long as you're at 1,000 mana and you keep spamming like Fate's Edict and your heal, because back then I don't think Oracle's heal got nerfed to the 85 mana cost. It was like still 65 mana. And so you could just sit there and sit next to an OD and keep spamming E on him, and you would never run out of mana. You could keep him permanently topped off with like 2, 3, 4 running Purifying Flames buffs going. You'd never run out of mana. You were totally fine to just spam away. He was at full health. You were at full mana. You kept the heal buffs going. It was disgusting. Energy booster, mana boost build. You didn't even need that. That was the even more broken thing, was you didn't have to invest a lot in mana to be at full mana constantly with an OD sitting near you. Because if he was near you, you had a 40% chance to gain like 20% of your max mana back anytime you cast a spell. That was broken. You did not need no investment in mana whatsoever to just constantly be at full mana. All you need to do is sit near an OD. It's disgusting. Look at this disgusting belt too, with 12% cast speed permanently to a Mage Blood build. Now it does have this other really nutty 16% all res, like perfect all res, perfect cast speed during. I don't like the rolls on the belt all that much. It does have it has a build solving amount of strength, right? 52 strength is a good enough stat to where I think I'll just buy this and put this in a tab for like 50C and it'll probably sell. I should conserve some juice on tribute because we're getting to the point where we want to save some for in case we run into like a mirror. I'll buy this though. And we got one free reroll left, and then 15% minion damage on an implicit. I wonder how much that's worth as a synth implicit. I don't know, maybe 70C, maybe. I think minion builds usually want like better amulets, like either maybe a unique amulet, I'm trying to think of the specific ones, or an amulet that's rolled very specifically for like +2, like +1 to all spell skill gems, and then +1 to an element of the minion type that they're not going to want to roll. Although they could roll that on a synth implicit. They could also roll that on an amber implicit and get a build solving amount of 30% 30 increased strength. So I don't know, maybe it'll sell. And now I'm re-rolling with a shit amount of tribute. I wasn't going to be able to buy anything anyways. Did I miss anything? How much is this? Not anything important. Okay. Check out what I said before. I did. Oh man. When I saw your YouTube profile again, I remembered you had a Earth Spirit build when it was extremely broken hero, when Earth Spirit wasn't nerfed 9,000 patches in a row, yes. And yeah, I did build, you're right. Because I remember, I think back then I was playing him as like a pseudo core, like I would go offlane with him, and for a while there, it was kind of powerful to build Octarine core on him. Or maybe I was just convincing myself that was a powerful build on him, but either way, you'd get mana boots, and then you'd go Aether Lens, and then you'd still maybe you'd get mana boots back, so you could build it into Octarine. Or no, actually, because I think you were able to disassemble Aether Lens maybe back then. I can't remember how I did. I'd have to go back and watch the videos and then put myself into the headspace again. Okay, and the actual correct way to run maps is to just keep powering them, to run them super efficiently. So we get our scarabs ready. I don't want to keep running the exact same farm that I was running in the videos though. I kind of want to do something different. We'll probably flex out Harvest. I kind of want to stick to Ritual though. Ritual has been very kind to me this league. Let's throw these in a dump tab. Let's just throw them in a dump for 20C. Orb of Venom. Yes, Earth Spirit would very regularly. And even still, if you're going to play him like 4, you still run Orb of Venom on him. It's one of those things that I didn't realize when I first started playing the hero, because I thought of him as like a spellcasty hero. It kind of changed my perspective on the game a little bit. When you have this hero that casts active spells often, and it's like the identity of the hero to be this kicking spells, you're not going to really be auto-attacking much, I thought. But no, obviously, early game, like any other hero in Dota, you auto-attack all the time. Let me think. Any other hero besides... Well, no, I'm pretty sure every single hero in the game auto-attacks at a certain point in the game. And as it turns out, Earth Spirit, more than a lot of other heroes, really wanted to auto-attack when he would rolling boulder onto you, because you could get like 4, 5, 6 autos in the duration where So back then, it would slow for like 50 or 80%. It was a disgusting slow, and it lasts for 2 seconds. So you roll on them, and you get like 1 or 2 autos just automatically by virtue of how slowed they are. And then as they're running away, you usually can get 1 or 2. But with an Orb of Venom, you can stay on them. Suddenly you can get as many autos as you want, and then your auto attack becomes this thing that you got off 4 times to this thing that you get off like 10, 15 times, basically until they get back to their tower. And when you think about the amount of damage that is added up, even on a hero that's like melee themselves, and so they could have Stout Shield, because this is back before melee heroes have built-in Stout Shield. So let's say you're Earth Spirit and you're hitting a hero that has like 5 base armor and a Stout Shield, and you're doing like 20 damage, 30 damage on average a hit. Oh shit, Lamau. Wait, hold up. Okay, good. Okay, give me a second. Let me get a calculator out, because the math on this is actually crucial, one might say, to understand. Even though it's not crucial to understand for this stream at all, because the stream is not a Dota 2 stream. But talking about this concept was one of those things that truly did change my perspective on the game. I didn't think about it this way. It's like, and it goes as follows. So you have, maybe you get 4 auto attacks off, and your hero does 50 damage base. And so, after reductions, let's say your damage is actually 30 damage base, and you end up doing 120 extra damage over the course of a gank. That's great. But let's say you're not ganking mid lane. Let's say you're ganking a side lane, and you're Earth Spirit. And instead of being able to get 4 auto attacks off, suddenly you're able to get off 10. Because your hero is able to maintain. It's a long drawn out fight. The person that you're staying on is trying to get away from you, but they're also trying to kite the opponent, so they're running in between. They're not necessarily going straight back to the tower, but you're able to stay on top of them, and that's just an extra 300 damage that you just did. If you're still doing the same amount of damage to that target that is kiting you, running away from you, you're Earth Spirit, you're staying on top of them, you have an Orb of Venom, the person's getting slowed by 12%. 12% on any hero that runs 300 move speed. Even though your hero got, we're playing Earth Spirit, we get nerfed. Even before he got nerfed, even before he was like 305 base move speed, you would still buy Orb of Venom. But then they nerfed him to like 290 base move speed. Then you basically need an Orb of Venom if you're trying to connect auto attacks on a hero that, even if they don't have boots, they're still like, if they're 310 move speed. I don't know, I'm getting into like some weird specific. All I'm really trying to say is connecting auto attacks on heroes as a melee hero, even one that casts spells and is not scaling their auto attack, that's still just really important early game. It's the value of auto attacks, basically. That was a point in my Dota, a period in my Dota learning journey where the value of just connecting auto attacks early game was something that I became familiar with, a lot more familiar with. I can't find our chat, but I'm very touched that I've helped inspire your journey. You are. I'd love to chat about nerdy software stuff in the future. Well, Danny, remind me, were you a front-end web developer? Are you someone that like currently manages websites for companies? Because that wasn't even the journey I wanted to go on myself. I was, and still to an extent am interested in. I think I remember we talked about this. I'm interested in like AI, building robots, and I got into the Odin project just because I saw it as like I saw it as a way to get into learning programming and eventually segueing into a machine learning like learning how to code can only be beneficial to the person that's eventually learning how, or that eventually wants to get into machine learning is what I was that's what I thought at the time. And then also the Odin project was just it seemed like the most accessible free tool out there. I was Googling around quite frequently for like machine learning online resource, ways to get into machine learning. There was like Free Code Camp has their own topics on machine learning, but they don't go super in depth. I don't see the 0 to hero journey being as spelled out on the web, and really I shouldn't even say that like the Odin project seemed like the zero to hero journey from someone who knows very little about all of this coding, anything regarding the internet, even really. Like if you know nothing about the internet and you start following the Odin project, I feel like they'll give you a pretty good grasp of everything to do with the internet. They'll give you either through the lectures they have, I shouldn't even say the lectures, the online tools they have through their little, it's kind of hard to describe it if you've never been on the Odin project. The Odin project does this thing where when you're going through it, they, like here's a typical course. So let's say I'm going through their intermediate HTML and CSS course. Let's see, let's check out some advanced selectors I can use, right? They're gonna go in and say, hey, in CSS, if you're trying to style divs, you could just do the like, oh, I want to style all of my divs with the main class, I guess, main div. And then they're like, oh, but you can also do groups, and you can, and then I guess apparently the squiggly is this is a way. Finally, if we want to select all the siblings following in elements, all of the siblings following in elements and not just the first one, we can use the general sibling combinator, right? Am I dead yet? I'm not dead yet. Okay, cool. But so they'll teach you in this way, where they'll have a article, or they'll give you like a rundown of what they're trying to teach you about, in this case CSS, and then at the end they will give you these tools that you can check out, additional resources. So I can do their CSS diner thing, where select the plates. Oh, I remember doing this. So this is again practicing a CSS selector. You go in here, you're like, oh hey, I need to type in the one to select both of these plates. Type selector, select elements by their type. Select all elements of type A. Type refers to, so let's do styles would go here. Type a number to skip a level. Let's do, these are plates. Can we just do plate? These are plates inside the div table. And they want me to select all of the types A. Hold up. My brain is farting here. Give me 1 second. No. What if I just do div? I would select this. Hold on. Because they're not, these are just plate. This isn't like div class plate. These are just plates, plate elements. But there's obviously no plate element. This is part of the game. Give me a second. P selects all P elements. I see. So then would it just be P? Whoops. Styles would go here and here. Here. 1 second. Type in a CSS selector. Well, this isn't technically a CSS selector. Dude, what the fuck? Hold up. What exactly are they looking for? Maybe I didn't learn all that much. Selects all types of A. Type refers to the type of tag. So div, P, and UL are all different type element types. Yes, we understand that. This is a div. They're talking about these two are inside of the div table. So this is like they're trying to say that this right here table is our parent div, and it's called the table div, and it like visually is represented as this. But we know from how HTML works that when you put elements inside of a div, they become their children. These are two plate elements. Now, plate elements don't exist in HTML, but this is like the game, the CSS Diner game that we're playing. And so we're imagining these plate elements. And then I can't tell if they're saying P selects all P elements, and that's like P refers to the plate element. But either way, they're saying selects all, what do they want from me? Select the plates. They want me to select the plates. And so that should just be as easy as this. Oh, it is. Okay, well, fuck me. Okay. So, select the bento boxes. Okay, so bento. So what the fuck was I even trying to show? Okay, yeah. So anyways, that's the, okay. So these are like the resources. Okay, and actually, what you really just saw, what I just did right there, Your audio is muted, by the way. My audio should not be muted. You should be able to hear everything I'm saying. Is that the case for everyone else? Is my audio actually muted for anyone? Hold up. It's not muted? I didn't think it was muted. It's not muted on Twitch. I don't think it's... Let me go to my YouTube. Or, I guess... And, yeah, here we go. I don't think my Twitch is... It's not muted for me. Okay, yeah. The Odin project taught me a lot about web development, but what it really taught me about was how to solve a problem, because a lot of the Odin project is getting into the mindset of a programmer, and the mindset of a programmer is having the mindset that can just break a problem down into smaller parts. And I think that's powerful. Let's see, 13%. Probably not worth shit. 71, we spend that. It's complete garbage. But it's okay. Sometimes ritual gives, and sometimes it takes. We can still get splinters and call it worthwhile, but look at this, we're giving up 1,300. Surely we don't have to give up 1,300. We could just buy some bubblegum currency that's grayed out and call it a day. Could have bought some scours. Whoops. I'm trolling my phone connected to my car. I see. Mine actually does have, it's funny that you say that. I have a, you have like a receiver. I have a receiver that hooks my phone up to my car, because my car is super old, so it needs something to hook up its Bluetooth, and when it does that, the microphone turns off too. So I don't know if that's your experience with it, but we're out of blue juice spots, which means we have 6 div worth of blue juice. Yellow juice is the most expensive. But this isn't selling for some reason. I've got a stack of it right here. Where is it? Or at least it's not selling at the price that I'm trying to get it at. Let's turn it up to 4,600 per div. Or no, sorry, 4,600 per one. So it'd be 146, 1 divided by 46. That's what I had it previously, right? Surely. And then you, 1 to 7650. Let's do like 1 to, what do you do over here? 7,500. Div. Okay, I'm up for real now. You're good. Peace out, my friend. Please message me, because I completely forgot your username and I'm part of way too many Discord servers. You're good. On Discord? On Discord, you're blue spawn. Blue pawn, I got you. I'll message you right now. Add friend. I think I did. Said my request was sent, so. Okay. Yeah, it was good catching up with you. I would love to talk to you about it. It's it's something that I'm still very much interested. Like I would like to do something with what I know. I have not given up on it. On the dream of getting a job in software development. Part of me just feels like the industry is very saturated, but like that's just doubt, right? That's just doubt speaking to me. Doubt grabbing my brain and saying, oh, you can't. It's like anybody could say that about any industry. Oh, I don't want to get into nursing. Nursing is too saturated. Oh, I don't, oh, I really wanted to get into, well, I really do feel like software development is a primero example. I don't know, construction. Yeah, I wanted to get into construction work. I wanted to become a contractor, but I just feel like it's too saturated now. You could say that about any industry. You could say that about anything ever. Well, really what it is it boils down to excuses and how much you really want it. Because you can come up with an excuse for anything, to not do anything. About anything. There's a million excuses. Damn. It really has been a while since I talked to Daniel Kappa. It's been like 3 fucking years. You're right. Crazy. Crazy. Dude, time flies. There we go. Somebody buying my juice. Oh man, that's so true. I realized that a year and a half ago. The excuse is yes. There are a million and one reasons to not do anything that you ever tell yourself you don't think you want to do. But that does not mean that you should not do it. Whoops, okay, 46000. But you have to do it kind of quickly. And my dude here is showing us his beautiful toxic rain pathfinder. I love that. I love that for you. The divs, they rise. Harvest was a good investment insofar as farming strats are concerned, because the liquid sells. Okay, wait a sec here. Turn the cam on. Turn off display capture. Okay, there we go. How is the... I think we have a good angle. Okay. You've been getting into stoicism. But I'm also inclined towards hedonism. I think it's all a balance, right? There's times where focus is necessary to achieve anything in life. And then there's also times where you should be able to just, I don't know, it's kind of, like, it even feels bad saying it, but like rest on your laurels a little bit. Nourishment, or I don't know, you should be able to you should be able to put your sword down, okay? Not everything has to be a battle. Even if life feels like a good chunk of it is. And this, by the way, you know, what I'm saying goes into, it branches into many different domains. Like in whatever you're doing, everything has its own battle associated with it, right? Dude, the amount of times when something is running away from you, Power Siphon becomes the worst feeling skill in the game. It's all about balance, in my opinion, exactly. And not beating yourself up when you occasionally falter, because it's like a very human thing to do. Progress is not a linear path. Very rarely in life. Right, I mean, think about how many times you wake up and effectively do the exact same thing that you did yesterday. You wake up, you go to work, you come home, you eat, you do something to pass the time, and then you go to bed. And like, that general cycle is maybe 70-80% of your life, and that doesn't feel like progress or change, but it's kind of, it's part of it. It's like you need periods of your life where you're going through that. For there to be periods in your life where things can go up or down. Or, I don't know, maybe these are just the things we tell ourselves to make our mind okay with the dissonance that we feel involving ourselves in grinds like that. I don't know. It could be one or the other. Because I often, like, I'll say something like that, but then I'll think to myself, but what about a billionaire? Do you think a billionaire is living the exact same life day in and day out for 9 months straight on a fucking back-breaking grind trying to feed their family? Or is their life constantly seeing change? Even, and I'm not even trying to assume the, like, oh, ultra bad billionaire, like, whatever, 19-year-old that hates society. Like, I'm talking about even the individual that is we're talking multi-billionaire, CEO of multiple companies, has a very busy plate. They still have a degree of change that keeps their life busy and working towards something. Having the feeling of working towards something be kind of like a constant basis. But they also are probably feeling like a great degree of walking on eggshells, I imagine. Where every single day you're managing companies worth millions and millions of dollars, you could potentially fuck that up, and that would feel a lot worse than like going to your job as a bartender and leaving somebody's credit card in the card reader for a little bit too long while you're multitasking, doing something in the back, picking up somebody's to-go order. You know what I mean? Oh man, I felt so hard between 2019 and 2020, so I walk on a thin rope with strongly defined boundaries in order to prevent repetition. That's good. Or, I mean, I shouldn't say that's good. I'm not intimately familiar with your situation, but I will say that implementing your own stopgaps, being able to tell yourself, okay, basically just having a rock bottom period where you know you never want to go back to that. I feel like that's the best motivator. Having yourself as your own best, I guess, way of keeping track. The best motivation. The moment you have no goal left, something to look forward towards, that's when the mind starts breaking, in my opinion. Was that way for me? Yeah. And I feel like I feel like it's got to be that way for most people. I think there's a very often a huge period of isolation that can be found before most people kill themselves, and most people that don't kill themselves, who still go on to do bad things, same thing. Like most people that would, because this is a very sensitive subject, I should use words that are a little bit more careful than, like, most people that would do things that the wider degree of society would see as like very bad, as like very not good. I bet we could just peer into their lives for a second, their lives when they were alive, and just look back a little bit and see that there was probably a big period of like either social isolation or like a lot of social manipulation happening at the behest of one or two individuals. So like them being socially isolated because maybe their family died, or they became estranged from them and they don't have like a loved one or something like that they live with, and then either, again, they have a big period of like social isolation, just them sitting in a room day in, day out. Maybe they go to work, but their work is like socially isolating. Maybe they're in a cubicle all day. They have very little human contact. Or they have still little human contact, but they do have someone they're communicating with, but it's like one or two people, and it's like a cult leader that's like fucking with their mind, where they're like being convinced to suddenly move states, and they're, talking with someone like all day, every day, and it's the same person, and it's like an organization or some shit like that kind of shit. I don't know. Dude, I literally didn't meet anyone for like 2 years straight. Shut in. Yeah. I am familiar with that feeling a little bit. I hesitate to say it's never been the exact same for me. These aren't even like, well, I don't know. I feel like especially streaming has afforded me the ability to kind of always have people that it's weird to even say new faces because you don't see them, but it's like new people that come in and remind me that I am not alone, basically. Whether they come in and say something negative, come in and say something positive, come in and say something anything, it's like a a reminder that there are other people out there. Things like streaming or things like watching YouTube, being connected to other communities, those kinds of things are able to kind of pull me out of like, not bad mental funks. I still get bad mental funks, but they remind me that I'm never as alone as I think. I was an addict, funnily enough, on prescription meds, or 2 prescription meds, sitting all day at home. Online classes failed 80%, even though they were online and easy as hell. I don't know if you're saying easy as hell because they were online, because online classes are inherently easy, or if you were trying to imply that. Well, I guess I don't know necessarily what you mean when you say online classes are easy. I'm not sure what your experience with online classes is, but I am familiar with how easy it is to make online classes easy for yourself if you're struggling and you don't care about academic integrity. From personal experience, I'll be the first to admit it. It's very easy to not, how do I say this? I don't know. Let me think. Everyone cheated and passed, I didn't. I don't even know if everyone cheats and passes. It's just like online classes are so much less. It's kind of hard to. It feels like the workload is just different, really. I don't know. I only have my one narrow experience to go by, but I think I've told you guys this. I went back to school in 2021 for nursing in fall and summer. The fall and summer semesters, I guess they're quarters at the community college that I go to, and for that period of time, I was taking online classes because that was like during COVID, right? And I do remember there being like nothing to do for the classes to measure your ability as a student. Like for every class except for my anatomy class, there was like no homework. There was like one test at the end, which I don't remember how you would even really fail it. It's just it just felt different. I don't know. It was like, how do I say this? When you say even though they were online classes and easy as hell because of it, I definitely know what you mean. For a good chunk of them. And then there was my anatomy class. That was a lot harder. I took anatomy in high school. But it's been a while since I last took anatomy. Prior to this class. And it showed. I was struggling. Also, the human body is one of those things that I think you really should learn about in person. Because I think a lot of people, they make their mind-mental connection that when they see something. I feel like that's especially the case for the body. I feel like once you see where you could argue like, oh, well, you took the class already. You should have just remembered from that. It's even dumb that they made me retake anatomy. Although, I guess it had been a while, because when I'm retaking it in 2021, when I'm like now 26 or 27. Wait, hold up. 3 years ago? Yeah, I'm like 27 when I'm retaking it. And so the last time that I had taken it before that was like over 10 years ago. I guess I understand why they would have you retake it. Okay, I'll be fair. The classes weren't easy exactly. The method of passing the exams were easy because you could cheat without problems. I see what you mean. Was it like the way they would proctor the exams is you would be tasked with finding a computer with a laptop or buying a webcam and installing it into your laptop or computer or whatever and just turning it on, and you would take the exam with your webcam that you could position however you wanted to, that's sitting at your computer where you could put notes right here, right here, right here, right here, out of range of the camera, and have the appearance of looking at the screen, but have notes to the left and right of your eyes that are just right out of shot of the camera that you can just see? Is that how they would proctor their exams? Because that is definitely one way that I could imagine students can cheat on online classes. And again, I don't even necessarily know if that's necessary for a good chunk of them, because other than my anatomy class, I remember a good chunk of the exams, of the classes were like, there's no exams to be taken anyways. It's just like, here's the class, show up, being defined. Here's the class, make sure you show up. Oh, and by the way, showing up is defined as logging in to the main website and like hitting I'm here and having your webcam on for like a second. Or I'm trying to remember, there was a few classes that I had that were like hybrid because they had a lab portion to them. Literally no cameras, online exams. Really? How did they even verify which? Was it just like you put your name on the test? You do the test online. They have no way of, well, they must have had some kind of program, right, that they made you guys go through. One of those programs that it takes control of your computer, kind of. It like grabs your computer and then it like runs the test through the program, and the program supposedly makes sure that there's no third-party software being ran on your computer at the same time. Yeah, it's one of those. But then it's like, bro, I could just whip out my phone. Like, I'm sitting at my house. You're telling me to do this exam on my computer in the comfort of my house when I could just sit here. Yeah, exactly. I have my phone with Google. I just don't understand how that wasn't a consideration for the people whose job it is to enforce academic integrity. Because you know that's someone's job, right? You know someone is getting paid probably close to a six-figure salary to think about how students are going to cheat on their tests and come up with solutions to like make sure that doesn't happen. You know that's a six-figure job, right? That's a six-figure job probably. I guess I don't know that's a six-figure job. I'm darn sure that those people are paid a lot of money because that's the future of our students or of America or whatever. Like, I mean, that's our schooling, that's our institutions. Like, if they don't take it that seriously, then what the fuck am I paying this much money for, right? Like, it all feeds back to itself. To one extent, or to some extent, I can complain that, or I shouldn't say complain. To some extent, I can sit here and be like, oh, it was so easy if I wanted to, if anybody wanted to. It would have been so easy to cheat. It is easy to cheat. Theoretically, I can only imagine the person that is willing to make that very small moral decision of like, I'll turn on my phone while I'm taking this test. You know, nobody will know. I'll turn on my phone. Yeah, that's right. What is the powerhouse of the cell again? Google. What is the you know? Let me just look. Mitochondria. Okay, cool. Like the person that's willing to make that small leap of decision is rewarded with a perfect test score in a class they had no business passing, that they normally wouldn't be able to. There's no way that's happening in troves. If it's that easy to test in American education these days, there's no way it's happening in troves. It's inconceivable, you know? I couldn't imagine it. The reality where going from in-person to online schooling resulted in a 1,000, 2,000, 3,000% increase in cheating. There's just no way. Because it's not like our institutions are that weak that they would let that happen. And I shouldn't say our institutions. I don't want to sound like... I probably sound like global conspiracy right now. I'm not even trying to... Like, I really am just trying to focus on... The main focus would be that that's someone's job to make sure that something like that isn't happening. And if they couldn't make that simple, like, brainlet assumption that, like, oh yeah, these kids have phones. They could just look up on Google on a separate platform the answer to these questions. COVID era was a shit show. Dude, my brother had an IELTS English exam for college entrance. They had every single measure to prevent cheating. It's an international exam. You know how he cheated? It was my idea. I connected a long HDMI cable to outside his room to another display with a wireless keyboard and mice to his PC. Okay, but that's elaborate. There's some, like that. And I'm not trying to say it makes it okay, but it would make sense. Oh wait, hold up. I just remembered my dog is outside. Let me go check. I have the thought in my brain. I'm gonna come right back with the thought. Give me a second. Go. Go. Let's get a treat. Let's get you a treat. Go. Let's get you a treat. Come, my friend. Come. That's a good boy. Boy, Cole. Okay, I apologize. Okay, yeah. You don't deserve to get away with cheating. That was not what I was trying to say. I'm not trying to say anybody deserves to get away with cheating. I don't really care one way or another. It's more like, I was speaking to the chance that you'd get away with a trick like that, and I'm saying that required a, like it's elaborate. You know what I'm saying? It would make sense to me that something like that would work. But it doesn't make sense to me that something as easy as a student pulling out their phone, and literally, as easy as I'm taking a test, let me pull out my phone and look up the answers. Something as simple as that and obvious as that is just working. And I guess it's because administrators assumed that kids wouldn't do that. Is that what it is? Is it as easy as easy to explain away as that? Is it like, oh, COVID era, we didn't expect as many students to cheat as we did because we just didn't think they would. We didn't think they had it in them. We thought they were better than that. Like, what? What? Wait. Your default assumption here is that these guys don't want to cheat on their tests? Well, why are you assuming people would play by the rules? Where else in society do we? So then, are we going to just start making the default assumption that people won't steal from stores then too? Should we not lock our doors? I mean, it'd be nice if we lived in a world that worked like that. Don't get me wrong, but I cannot stress enough. It's so funny to me, I don't understand how someone is getting teams of people, whole boardrooms of people, of adults, No, I do understand. The only way I can make sense of it is to explain it as like boomers not understanding technology. But that seems so embarrassing, right? To assume that the entire education system of America, because no, I need to be a little bit more realistic here. It's not the entire education. Let's try to act like we're adults and we have some understanding of how American society works. I can do that, okay? Can you do that, Wired? You can do that, Wired. Okay, Wired, let's try doing that. So the way the education system in America works is it's not just like there is the Department of Education, but there's not just like one big institution that lords over every single school with an iron fist. It's like the DOE, the Department of Education, I think, has like they're headed by someone from the president's cabinet, and they have like their set of expectations that they want to see seen, like they have I think they have like a charter set of expectations that they want to see realized or actualized in the American education system more broadly. And so that comes from their ideas, their initiatives that they put forth and that they expect states to follow downstream. So like with Betsy DeVos, I think she had her charter school and her her school choice voucher She was pushing, and so she was like pushing really hard for states to have the ability to, or sorry, for states to give the ability to parents to choose which schools they wanted to go through. And this was supposed to be actualized through things like, again, like school vouchers being given out to parents and whatnot. Like, oh, see, here's some amount of money that that is being put aside for parents, especially like lower income parents, to be able to decide which school they want to take their kid to, or something along those lines. Right? Maybe I'm like missing it entirely. Maybe I'm missing some of it. Maybe I'm missing most of it. Maybe I'm getting most of it. I don't know. The point is, from the federal branch, we have some general set of ideas or principles that we want to see that boils down to the states. And so when it comes to something as important as academic integrity, when it comes to something that theoretically could affect every education system, throughout the world, like largely, like people taking advantage of your system. This exists in anything, right? Like something as simple as, oh, we have the answers to the exam right here, and we're going to put them in this drawer, and we're not going to check this drawer overnight, and the school isn't locked at night, and it'd be so easy for one of you guys to come up here at night and just break in and find all the answers to the test. Something like that, something that might have actually been an issue like years and years and years ago, decades ago, centuries ago. I don't know. You come up with solutions for that. You put locks on the school. You make teachers take home their answers, or you make them keep their answers eventually online in like password protected locations. Like you find ways to make sure that students can't find the answers to tests before they take the tests, because if they could, then that would like give them a serious advantage over other students that didn't have access to that information. So when it comes to the age of the internet, where suddenly the answers to tests is no longer gated behind what you have written in your notebook, but it's actually gated by how much access the student has to the internet, you would think that, even though it would be difficult, because it is, I will acknowledge, it is a difficult feat to perform, the one where you control a student's ability to access the internet during the entirety of them taking a test. Because at that point, you're not just trying to control their ability to see the answers of something preemptively. You're trying to control their ability to access a widely available tool that most people can keep in as small of a device as something that's no larger than a trading card, and that they could put in their pocket, weighs no more than, I guess, a 5-pound dumbbell. I'm just going to conveniently use something with a weight to determine the weight. And go to 32 seconds and listen for 3 to 4 seconds.
What? What, niggas?
Hey, man.
Wait, hold up. This is, I'm
Hey,
gonna get
good
banned.
penis.
Bro, you're kidding me. What the fuck? You're trying to get my ass banned. PO2 will have damage numbers. Okay. Oh, he says in 33 seconds, America has the greatest education system in the world. I should have been more meticulous in providing exact time. My bad, I apologize. No, you're good. I just didn't, at first I got paranoid. I was like, whoa, hold up. I thought you were infiltrated. Okay. Well, I believe it from the clip anyways. There's just a lot of N-bombs. That's not a safe clip, I'll put it that way. It wouldn't be a safe clip for me to click, given the, we'll say, the number of N-bombs per second in that video. It's more than... It's a non-zero number. We'll just leave it that way. There's a non-zero number of N-words said in that video. And I don't think Twitch or YouTube like that. I don't like that. I like black people. I like not using the N-word. But that's just me. But I do believe you. And if that person in the video said that America has a poor education system, I would agree with them. We have a big education system. We have a big education system with a lot of dissonance creating decisions being made, or that have been made, that continue to be made. A lot of decisions that, like, they seem to contradict themselves. They seem to, like, on the one hand, they would accomplish X. And then when you look at the same system, but in a different area, and the decisions that are being made there, you're like, huh, well, this is going to accomplish Y. And Y is kind of the opposite of X. And when I say the opposite, I don't mean the opposite like vanilla, but we have chocolate over here, and that's fine, because vanilla is allowed to exist where chocolate is as well, you know? You can have both flavors at once. What are you? Flavorist? But no, like the American education system will try to do things like promote charter schools and like school vouchers and an individual's right to choose which district they want to go to, while also doing things like gentrifying out, or like using property taxes in like high income areas to force people out of a certain, well, we'll say force certain people that have not as much money as other people to not be allowed to live in certain areas. So it's like, well, wait, do I really have the choice? Do I truly have the choice to send my kid here? If to live there, the average cost of rent is like $4,000 or $5,000 a month, then do I really have the choice to send my kid there to go to school? So I can't live there, but my kid wants to go to school there. And it's going to be a 2-hour drive from my house because I'm, like, say you're in a like low income area. Dude, sigil power is too small of a circle, I feel, unless I have increased AoE. It's just like, it's a huge buff, but you have to be in such a small area. The title of the video is Greatest Education System. It's about Dota. Can it be infiltration if this isn't related? No, he doesn't say the American education system. He says, America has the best education system in the world. I think it's obvious why the world doesn't need leaders. They need drones to work. The leaders are already chosen. They don't want the education. Well, and again, like okay, look, I'm not as conspiratorial. I don't, although I don't necessarily think it's a conspiracy to say that companies want you to work and not be a thought leader that would, oh my goodness, how did I even die? What was it that killed me there? I don't think it's a conspiracy to say that a company would rather you work for them rather than you get the idea to go work as a competitor against them. But one second. Dude, where's my... Okay. You pull this. That was my mouse, right? That was my mouse. Okay. We grab it. We pull it up like this. Okay, perfect. Okay, now we connect it. One sec. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. No, and I think you're right. I think that I think it's interesting that we're even taught marketing, because the entire idea behind selling something is something that you are not supposed to know about. You're not supposed to know how the mind of someone else's works on enough of an intimate level to be able to sell them something. Because if you are, then suddenly you're dangerous. When you can think about, hey, this person might want something, let me sell it to them, then you could compete, theoretically, against another business. But you could always have that idea. And we teach it in schools, too. It's called marketing. It's called business. You can go to school for a business administration degree. And you say, lol, but I'm going to say this. The reason I'm saying all of this is to say that companies can't keep you out of competing against them. There is no way for the world to be as grand a conspiracy like that yet. You will always have the ability to triumph over the big man. Don't let them make you feel like you're too small or insignificant to compete against them. You, like everyone in this world, genuinely are a special snowflake, and you can use your special snowflakeness to become a serious threat against your enemies. Okay, feel mobilized. Feel the ability to feel like you can mobilize yourself, because it's there. If you don't think that you can effectuate change, let's say you're like, man, I fucking hate Walmart for whatever reason. I personally don't. I like Walmart. I work for Walmart. But let's say you hated Walmart and you were like, I hate Walmart so much. I just hate everything about their business model. I want to do it. I want to do everything they're doing, but better. Everything about what they're doing, it feels gross. I hate it. It feels unethical. The way they provide super cheap shit for people. I don't know. Maybe you just hate Walmart. It doesn't matter the reasons why you hate Walmart. What matters is if you have this burning hatred for Walmart in your heart, trust me, you can do something with that. You can do something, and you can make Walmart feel something about that. Okay, you're not that small as you think you are. And by the way, I'm not saying that you're not small, like you can do something, like go do something radical and write about me in your manifesto. No, I'm not saying anything like that. I'm saying that you can like, bro, like you can go start your own fucking Walmart. You know what I mean? You can go start your own fucking Walmart, Weep Lord. An anarchist inside me. Okay, then I have accomplished part of my goal. There's a bit of anarchist sentiment, perhaps, maybe in my voice. Maybe there's a bit of truth to that even, but I don't want it to be like a terrible anarchist sentiment. Just the anarchist sentiment of like, hey, Walmart's no bigger than me. Okay, that's the anarchist sentiment that I'm trying to instill in your heart. Okay, Walmart is not a bigger thing than you. There's no such thing as a justified hierarchy. The only reason they exist and that they are as big as they are is because they're made up of people that work for them. You can make something like that. If you see a need for you to compete with Walmart, then you can compete with Walmart reasonably. In fact, not just you can compete with Walmart, but that there are a lot of advantages to being in your position over Walmart if you are trying to compete with Walmart. What do I mean by this? Well, you have to see them as advantages to some extent. I will say, like, what I'm about to say is a bit contrived, okay, but let me cook here and work with me, okay? You're small, right? You're a super small business owner. So if you're trying to compete with Walmart, you can, if you leverage this correctly, you can use this to be something that Walmart never can use, or that Walmart can't leverage. Like, you can leverage the fact that you're small in a way that Walmart never can. And you see small businesses do this all the time. What is, like, the number one thing small businesses will do? They'll tell you that they're a small business, right? They'll say we're locally owned. You're buying here, you're buying local, you're buying fresh. Although that's not so much associated with the whole like local / small business owner. But either way, please read what I wrote before. I don't want to linger in your mind as a conspiracy theorist with a tinfoil hat. I don't read what you see as or say as that. Don't worry, but I will. I'm in college. I am not that against education. I'm all for education. It's mankind's path to salvage enlightenment, in my opinion. No, I agree with most of what you're saying. I don't think that you're a conspiracy theorist. I think you and I are probably a lot more aligned in the way that we think than we differ. Again, I completely agree with you that by and large, businesses want you to just work for them. I think Walmart would be much more interested, for instance, like, so I think Walmart, don't they have their headquarters are in like a small state? Hold up. Walmart headquarters. Yeah, it's where Boogie New 2988 lives. Fucking, I remember this from his documentary. Walmart's their headquarters are in Arkansas. They want to see the United States. I shouldn't say it's because their headquarters are in the United States that they want to see the United States succeed. I'm not saying A meets B here, but I'm sure Walmart has a vested interest in the United States' success to some extent. I don't think they want to see out us, its citizens or whatever. Like we're people that are here that they can use, but to the extent to which they want us working and not thinking. I do agree with you. I agree with you 100%. I think Walmart wants us doing like stocking their shelves, and maybe a couple of us they want thinking, right? Walmart probably does want more psychologists to help them manage their research teams when they're thinking of like what is the best product that we can be putting in this place to make the most amount of money. They want all kinds of people working for them, but the main point of my diatribe was that if you ever feel small by these companies, and it's not just these companies, but like by an idea, by some kind of like concept that exists that seems bigger than you, it doesn't have to. You can do anything. I still haven't sorted out my stash tab. Okay, these were everything. This is everything I made. Farming ritual for like a day, for like 5 hours. I was quite impressed. Honestly, ritual in general has impressed the crap out of me. This league, as a mechanic that you can make money with in Path of Exile. This seems like it would be worth a fair amount of money, because like if you're a caustic arrow, like damage with poison, damage with bows, this is like a double damage for a caustic arrow or any kind of like bow dot build, and then you got the damage dot multi, and then you got cannot be hindered, cannot be silenced. I mean, it's kind of hype. It's kind of hype. What's up, Jake? I didn't realize that you were the one that said Omega lol there, Jake, and you were saying Monka laugh. Jake's been part of this conversation. I'll take Walmart out of business thanks to Wired. Really, it's like you have to. Here's how the little guy wins. Okay, I'm gonna tell it through story. Okay, have you guys seen Death Note? Okay, you become Light Yagami. That's how you win over your big businesses. Okay, you join the Kira task force, and then you become L. Okay, so you want to take down Walmart, and you're just one person. You don't go start counter Walmart. You join Walmart. And then you take out Sam Waltman. No, I'm just kidding. He's already dead. But you know what I'm saying, right? You take over Walmart from within. That's how you take down big business. I'm not joking. That is unironically how you take over the world. You see a company out there that you don't like, and you're one person. What you do is you sit in the shower for 20 minutes one day. 40 minutes. You need to have a deep meditative process where you become the CEO of that company. And you realize, I can actually just do this. Let me orient my entire life around becoming the CEO of that company. And then you become the CEO of that company. You actually just go out and do it. You start working 80-hour days. You go back to school. You learn business. You learn distribution like a motherfucker. You start, like I said, you work 80-hour. Did I say 80-hour days? You start working 80-hour weeks. You start working 14-hour days. You start like double timing. You transform yourself into the person that you need to become the CEO of that company. And then you just find your way in that position. You go start working there. You could start working. You could probably take over Walmart as a bag boy if you were serious enough about this. I'm not even joking. I actually had a friend. His name is Tyler. He worked at Walmart from when we both got out of high school to now. I think he still works there, and he started working there as a cart pusher. Okay, we're talking this guy's like 16, outside. You might even know him, Jake. Maybe if I told you his last name, I don't know. If maybe if you saw him, you might even know this guy. But he's working at Walmart from like the time that he's 16 to the time that he's like 20. As first he started off as like a guy that pushes carts into their proper position, and then he became the guy that manages that position. So then he became the guy that would tell other people, okay, you push the cart over here. And then he got moved inside the store. And then he got moved up, and then he got moved up, and so I don't even know what he's doing now. Maybe he's even managing Walmart. But what I'm saying is, like, you literally, like, you become Light Yagami. Okay, you sit there and you say, my life's purpose is this. I'm going to do this. And then once you accept that in your brain, you can actually do it. You just have to like make your entire fucking work, everything. Like, you could do it. Like, if you actually just thought for a second, like, yo, if I just like dedicated my entire life to doing X, I could probably do it, right? Like, I want to go to space. Could I go to space? if I just go back to school, start learning aerodynamics, astronomy, 10 years, if I start dedicating the next 10 years of my life, could I have a trajectory where I get out in space on the next mission, not next mission, but on some mission by the time I'm like mid-40s? In fact, let's just look it up right now. Oldest guy to go to space. William Shatner becomes the oldest person to reach space at the ripe young age of 90. Wait, what? The edge of space aboard Blue Origin's New Shepard. How? Wait, for the shooting of this movie, they... Interesting. What's this? Definitions of non-agenarian. So you're a non-agenarian if you are... What? Being from the age of 90 to 99? That's such a weird word to have to have that definition that I don't even understand. My brain just broke. Let's do a trade real quick. Where was this? This was in my 3div tab, right? Yeah. 45, so boom, 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 boom. Trade. Accepted. What the fuck is this? Fake ass word? I know, right? Doesn't seem real at all. Hold up, let me do this trade, we'll get back to it. Oldest person to ever go to space. I think I had it. SpaceX. Space. Fat finger. It is. Yeah, William Shatner. And it's a part of the shooting of this movie. And this was apparently somewhat recent, a few years ago. But then, like, what about William Shatner, John Glenn? This guy, making him the oldest person to enter Earth's orbit, the only person to fly in both the Mercury and the Space Shuttle programs. Post 2020s is a simulation error, anyways. Just new age stuff. Once you're 100, you're banished from non-agenarianism. I know, right? What a specific word. Non-agerianism, or whatever. Actually, wait. Can I get a pronounce?
So, how do you pronounce these words correctly? How do you call somebody who is 90 years old? We'll be looking at more pronunciations that are tricky, so stay tuned.
Say it!
To become part of the community.
Just say the fucking word!
Nonagenarian.
Nonagenarian.
Genarian.
Nonagenarian.
Nonagenarian.
Nonagenarian. Nice. Now you have something you can call someone who is 90. You can call them a nonagenarian. A person who is 90 or 99 or any age between those two numbers. Between that range, that's a nonagenarian. Okay, let's run some more maps. Wait, was this map complete? Wait, how did that even come up? We were talking about the oldest person to enter space because we were talking about you can do anything you set your mind to, I think. I don't know if William Shatner specifically set his mind to going into space. This is 60C. Return Proj with the, I guess, quality increases proj speed. Okay, we'll just buy that outright. Yeah, buy this or defer this. This is worth like 20 or 30C if I manage to sell it. I'll buy it and then I'll still reroll. And this is worth nothing, right? Attack speed rarity. Question mark? 6 div? Crackling Lance at a level 21 with no quality. That's not worth shit these days. I'm just gonna skip it. I said people don't think. What I'm advocating for is basically like a return to the old ways in a sense. Men who were curious/educated knew something about everything. People started becoming more and more hyper-specialized about Industrial Revolution. It sounds like you're trying to return to like a 1800s pre/Deering Enlightenment era. If you're saying pre-Industrial Revolution. If you're saying that the Industrial Revolution was a time period where people started becoming like really fixated on doing one thing, and you want to return to a time before that. Nowadays, people are one-dimensional and focused on one thing. After that, it's go back home from a drone, be a drone, watch Netflix, etc. They can't think properly. Everyone's stuck in their own ways. Definitely a large chunk of people. I think it's even more complicated than the way you described it, because like to the person that lives that life, we can probably both think of that person in a hyperbolic, non-real way that doesn't actually describe or map onto most people's lives, and then we can think of a person that's more realistically how you would describe a drone. But then if you start to kind of make it a person, then you realize they're not a drone, they just prefer different things. So let's do both. Let's start with the echo chamber thing, the echo chamber like worker drone, as we might both hyperbolize if we never stepped outside ourselves, right? I can think of that person right now. It's somebody who I don't know, maybe they work all the time, they don't even see the issue with working. I shouldn't say the issue with working, it's more like they work, they don't see work as something that's keeping them back from their goals. They see it more as like something they have to do, and so they work 40 hours a week. They have a good chunk of their friends, their relation. I guess I'm actually doing the latter. I'm describing a realistic person that like fits this mold of like someone who goes to a job and has most of their life centered around that, and I think that's most people, right? Most people, it's inevitable. You spend so much time at a job, you kind of just like have your job naturally become a big part of your life. If your job involves you going into an office, if your job involves you going into and seeing more than like 2 people, especially I think the in-office thing, that's going to be like, especially moving forward, that's going to become more and more a distinguishing factor. Do you go in for work? Because I know that a lot of jobs, or I shouldn't even say a lot of jobs, the ways that people are finding out how you can make money, it's becoming more and more like, I don't need to necessarily go into a place. I don't need to go sit in a cubicle. I can make money from my phone. I can go deliver food. I don't need to ever see a boss. I don't need to ever see a coworker. I don't need to see anyone to make money besides the customer, if that makes sense. True. What's up, Easy? Especially, I do need to add this. I promise, after this stream, there will be 2 chats. There will be the YouTube chat and then the Twitch chat, and you guys will, because like Easy has been, I assume you've been lurking here at least for a few minutes, and you're the only person in my YouTube chat right now. So you hear me talking, you don't see Weeblord's perspective, you don't see Jake's perspective, and I imagine that's like, you only hear me responding to it. Maybe it's creating a bit of dissonance. Weeblord says, I love tech. I don't want lack of tech. I wrote an explanation from what you said. Yeah, so I guess I am curious then, Weeblord, when you say that you want to go back to a pre-industrial revolution way of thinking, you want to have people have a sort of like pre-enlightenment awakening where they say, hey, actually, I don't just have to work the same place, the same 9 to 5, day in, day out for 40 years. In fact, is that it? Is that what you... Do you just wish that more and more people made that realization? Made the realization that they don't have to work at the same place or position for 40 years straight? Oh, Lama, yeah. Drop Twitch because of the ass ads. Welcome back, boss. I appreciate that, EC. And I don't blame you, by the way. Especially ever since this... I don't know if you guys have been... it's kind of not really here now, but like a few months back, there was this big discussion that this discourse that was happening surrounding YouTube's new rolling out of ad block, a built-in ad block to try to filter out like Origin and all the like strong ad blockers. And that happened, and it happened for like a few days, and then Origin came out with it. They dropped like a new patch, and like, no, fuck that. No, nice try, YouTube. And then now uBlock is like better than ever. All the like really good ad blockers like better than ever, and they just like basically laughed at YouTube's attempts to shit on them, so to speak. I know Twitch has gone like the full opposite direction, where it's like I can run every ad blocker I want. I cannot shut off Twitch's ads. It's crazy. And that's because I'm a noob, of course. But either way, because I'm sure there's somebody who hears what I just said and they're scoffing. They're like, Wired, you're still watching ads on Twitch? feel like this mechanic was it was a lot more fun to fuck around with at the very beginning of the league. But now I kind of just see that page as like extra hassle. But it is free juice. On the low, I have a blocker that works for Twitch. Then yeah, I am interested if you don't mind, Jake, because Twitch, I think I had one. I think a friend of mine showed me something that was like really inconvenient to. Yeah. Somebody showed me a workaround that was just as inconvenient as watching the ads, and then I was like, "Fuck, I'll just watch the ads." I'll DM you. I appreciate that. Twitch is really annoying too because I guess YouTube is the same way. Really, they're all annoying. Ads have become more annoying unfortunately in this space, in the domains that I care about. Right, at this point I don't care about TV. You can throw as many ads. Turn on Walking Dead and you'll see 15 ads before you get like 2 minutes of Daryl breathing heavily in front of a big zombie or some shit. I don't really care about TV anymore, right? But when I go on Twitch now, it's like I can't watch my favorite streamer. I don't have a favorite streamer. I don't even watch streams anymore, really. But if I wanted to watch a Twitch stream, I'd have to watch like 3 ads that are all 30 seconds long before I'd even just get into the stream. And that's really annoying because I remember back in the day, it felt like there was 2 kinds of ads on Twitch. One of them was the 2-minute that you could skip after 15 seconds, and then the other was like a 15-second pre-roll ad that you couldn't skip. And both were annoying, but they were like manageable. But now it's like I get hit with 2-minute-long ads that I can't skip. And running the best ad blocker I can find, uBlock, does not solve that issue. I can't talk about broad subjects like this with a random Joe on the street like I do with. Well, I appreciate that, but I will say it's still difficult to talk about it with me because I hate generalizations, and conversations like this typically lend themselves to a lot of generalizations. Like I have my criticisms of society as well, but whenever I think about them, I start thinking about how I'm generalizing people, and then I stop, and I'm like, wait, hold up, am I just in my own head? That's that question that I can ask myself that always brings me back to reality, is whenever I'm generalizing too much, I'm like, am I thinking too much about people that maybe I don't even like interact with? People I have no real formal experience with. I'm just kind of like making a demon out of them in my head. Because that can happen. Or, I don't know, it can happen to me. I'm sure you'll disagree, but a lot of the reason we have uneducated, one-dimensional people these days is because under capitalist structure, people have to work and live, and there's no time to pursue anything else aside from the fact that education being more expensive than ever. I think there is a good point to be made about how a third of your life, not even accounting awake hours. So it's closer to like half of your awake hours are spent doing what somebody else tells you to do. For most people, that is their life. For most single mom, especially most people, the closer you go to the poverty line, that's especially like the case, right? A lot of people I used to work with that were working 40, 50, 60, 70 hours a week. And I think if you're working that much time, if you're selling that much of your time and your labor to someone else, then yeah, I do wonder like how much, and it's more than that too, really, if you think about it, because you're not compensated for the time that it takes you to get ready. You're not compensated from the fact that you do that much work for someone, and it's over the course of that much time you typically need to deload from it. You kind of need to de-stress. So it feels like more than just 8 hours a day, right? And it definitely is when you look at it from the perspective of awake hours, right? If you start to think about how much of my time is being spent at this place when I can even spend my time. Because when you're asleep, you can't spend your time anywhere other than unconscious. I guess you can spend it in different places, but you're still not there for it. You don't get to enjoy it in the same way. In fact, I guess to some extent you get to enjoy it, but like your ability to determine it, actually in some ways, in many ways, is determined directly by determined by the job you have. So like your ability to have quality sleep can be determined by, funnily enough, whether you work a night job, whether you're on call, whether you, like you say, you're a police officer and you need to be able to work at a dime's notice. You basically need to be a Minuteman, you know. I know there's not a lot of sympathy for the police amongst many people, but and if you know, if the example doesn't work because you're on Twitch and you hate the police, we could use doctors. Another great example. Just a lot of jobs suck, and yeah, they do take a lot of your time, and because they take a lot of your time, they create a kind of person out of you, whether you know it, like it, are aware of it, or not. Like, you really do kind of just become that, you know? Yep, you're a doctor, and that's kind of like all you do. You're a doctor? Do you play video games? I know a few doctors that play video games. But the more I find out that they play video games, the more I find out, sorry, but they're usually not that great of a doctor. And I hate to say that. Dude, I love this guy, but there is a friend on my friends list right now. I'm going to expose the fuck out of him. This guy right here. He's a cool-ass dude from the UK that I think for a while there was getting in trouble with his job. He had some issues, and it was because he was playing too much PoE. Usually, if the more you try to focus on your pursuits, the more dude, I'll just use myself as an example. I think I told you guys about this. I told Jake about this. I told some people about this on stream. There's a while there at the very beginning of 2021 where I was working a sales job with a company that when I got hired by them to work this sales job, I did let them know that I was doing some other things. Streaming was the other thing I was telling them about. Back then when I was streaming so consistently. I remember I was telling them, yeah, I do something else, and I do earn an income off it, you know, I do it part-time, and they were sure to ask me in a way that made sense to the company, like, how much time do you invest doing this? You know, this isn't going to keep you from working with us, is it? It's because they want you to focus on them, right? If you're working a job, they want you to it's funny because, like, they don't want to pay you overtime. Most jobs, they don't want to pay you overtime. Obviously they don't want to pay a worker 1.5 times the amount they need to pay any of their other workers, but they also don't want you to get another source of income, right? If you go work at like a restaurant, you're a server at a restaurant and you're getting like 25 hours a week, they're typically not happy to find out that you need another job and that you're looking for other jobs because they don't pay you enough. But again, they will not be happy if you ask them for a raise. They will also not be happy if you tell them that you need more hours. They want to give you the hours that they want to give you. They want that to just magically work and be enough. They don't want you to need more money, but they also do not want to pay you more money. Or, I mean, of course they don't want to pay you. They don't want you to need more money, but they don't want you to go find more money if you need it anyways, and that they're not willing to compensate you. They basically just want your problems to not exist. You are a worker for them. You're not a human. Humans have problems. That's not efficient, right? You need to just work. You need to work and shut up. Do not have problems. Problems, that's for you to deal with on your own time. We cannot compensate you more for problems. If you tell us about your problems, we won't care. And if you bring your problems into the workplace, we'll fire you. But if we fire you, that might actually work out for you. Because again, eventually, you're going to hit that breaking point like everyone else, where you're like, fuck this, enough of this. And you step your feet right down in the ground. You push them. You push your feet down hard. And you're like, enough. I'm going to do something different. And then you guys both leave amicably, right? Your boss is happy in the moment, and you're frustrated in the moment, but also is kind of happy because you're like, fuck this, I can do something better and different with my time. And then maybe it works out for you, and then your life is better. Or maybe it doesn't, and you throw your life away. And what little you had to cling to ends up being all that you had left as you slowly descend into madness. Finally, someone who measures time in terms of awake hours instead of 24 hours a day. Yes. Yeah. It's because, again, like, we spend a third of our lives. That's the joke, right? You spend a third of your life working, a third of your life asleep, and a third of your life doing whatever you want. But, I mean, everybody has to sleep. And you can get more or less sleep, right? Everybody has to sleep, but not everybody does for periods of time. And then they eventually do sleep. Like, sleep is a variable, is all I'm really trying to say. You can not sleep. That is something you can do for a bit. So, should we consider it? Some people don't have to sleep as much. Should we start considering it when it comes to your daily life? I think we should. I think everybody should. These are a good pair of boots, I think. Even though they have a pretty poor lightning res roll there. They have tier 1 life and 30% move speed. That's almost all it really takes to sell boots. Let's put these in here too. I'm farming really inefficiently to keep this conversation going, but it's fine. It's fine because no matter what, I'm making bank, dude. It's ritual. Like every single time I look at one of those screens, even if it's whether it's my 5th screen an hour or my 500th screen that I've seen this hour, I have the same chance to see a mirror, right? I won't disagree, but not everything is formal education. Hold up, let me make the chat a little bit bigger. Not everything is a formal education. People don't educate themselves. They don't need education themselves, but I agree this system is rotten. Don't sound like a clueless millennial wannabe leftist, but it is really bad in some industries. I've seen across stories. People getting fired and sabotaged of their new job from employers, given their anecdotal stuff. Sorry, writing a mobile, so I might repeat myself without realizing that's understandable. I don't know. Society should talk more about what, society should, that doesn't even make any sense. Society should talk more. What is society? Who is society? There's so many generalizations in one sentence. We, as a populace, should have more conversations about ways to earn an income that do not involve like a W-2 job. We should have more conversations about ways to earn income. We should just start there. Because I feel like the fact that it took until high school for me to have like conversations in class, like for me to take an economics class, for instance, that you have to be in high school to even have that conversation, even though the way it seems life is the way that life works, if you don't have an income, you're fucked. Like, and very quickly. Like, if you don't have an income and you don't have a big pool of money to pull from, and you don't have somebody else that can take care of you, then no matter what else is going on, you're gonna get fucked. You're gonna not have money for food or for shelter or for clothing or something. There are necessities that you need to pay for. You need to have money coming. Basically, the way life works, you need to have money coming in at all times if you live in society, and it doesn't have to be like an insane amount. For some people, for most people, if you have dependents, then that changes. But if you're a single person living for and by yourself, you need to have money coming in, always. And that's not ever explicitly said in the, or I wasn't ever explicitly said for me. It's kind of an obvious thing, though. I think most people make that realization. It's kind of like and for some reason my frames have just died. It's laggy. I think it's just is this like a post servers thing? Is this not even my fault? Yeah, there's like some massive, what is going on? Hold up, let's just we'll let that catch up with itself. Yeah, look at this. What's this? I'm gonna push T and it's gonna take him like half a second to register the attack. Yeah. This is weird, okay. My charts. There's a hotkey for this. Maybe I don't have it set. It was F1. I want to see it. Is it still? Yeah, it is. What the heck? What's going on? Unplayable. Is this post servers? Is it just like slash stats? It's always been F1 for me. Let's see this. Not everything is formal education. People don't educate themselves. They don't educate themselves, but I agree the system is around. Don't sound like a close one out. Something is really bad in some industries. I've read some stories about people getting fired and sabotaged of their new job from previous employers, given their just and all this stuff. Sorry, writing a mobile. I want to cover the subject of learning. Usually when I learn something, it's through like monkey see, monkey do. It's seeing somebody very skilled do the thing, and then learning the intricacies of how they do the thing that way. I very rarely have I gained significant. Very rarely have I made like a significant epiphany that has made a leap or a bound in my ability to do something through filling out problems in a worksheet or discussing the topic at length without an ability to apply it. Like I don't want to defeat the point of my stream, but it seems to be the case for me. It seems to be the case that I make the most jumps in my knowledge of something through just application, through rigid application. Emphasis on the word rigid there. It has to be like a deep tinkering session of just fucking with the thing. Like take a game, take a character like in PoE like this, and I just have to oh, I want to make an improvement in my character's build. Like I start taking things apart. I start screwing around in POB. I start messing around with numbers. I start thinking about like, oh, what if I put this in here? What if I mess around with this? Web development, same thing. Like, oh, I want to learn how to. Like I'm learning how to code and I'm learning HTML, right? I shouldn't say learning how to code, learning HTML. HTML is not super, I mean, you're still coding, but you're learning HTML. Oh, I want to learn all the ways I can manipulate this div. I could go read about it, right? I could learn all the ways to center a div by just typing in Google 10 ways to center a div. And this is kind of it, really. I mean, this is like kind of how you learn anyways. You look up how to do it. And then you go do it is the thing. That's the main thing, right? You learn like, oh, I could do inline styling. Use margin. I could use margin. So if I want to center a div, I could use margin. I could use flexbox. I could use grid. Using grid layout. Flexbox. And I was listing these and it's saying it too. What else? Absolute positioning. Hold up, let me think some other ones. So I think they say transform. And then they say transform and flexbox. Oh, what? That's kind of cheating. You're going to use grid and auto placement, but you said use grid up there. What the fuck? I guess these are slightly different. Use flexbox with alignment. Yeah. There's a bunch of different ways to center a div, just like there's a bunch of different ways to skin a cat. But you shouldn't skin cats, because it's not good. But the way you learn how to skin cats and center divs is you go and you skin cats and you center divs, You don't read about it. Reading about it is like... Well, to me, it's like trying to read how to learn how to ride a skateboard. Like if somebody was like, I want to learn how to ride a skateboard, would you tell them to go read about it? Would you say, oh, you should go take a class? Go take the skateboard learning class. I mean, I guess you could, theoretically. There's probably a class out there that could teach you how to learn how to ride a skateboard. But I feel like the best way to learn how to ride a skateboard is just go ride a skateboard. Fuck around with it. You just go, what is it called? It's the, there's like an expression here. There's nothing that just beats the raw application of your mind trying to make the mind-muscle connection of how to make a skateboard work for yourself. But having Tony Hawk on standby would probably help you. I'm not going to deny that. Do I get one-shot sometimes by these guys? I feel like these guys one-shot me sometimes. Harvest minions. Harvest is one of those rippy mechanics sometimes. Most of the time. It's like one of those mechanics that's weirdly rippy. I very rarely know what it is that's killing me when I'm in Harvest and I'm dying. I think it's usually just I don't have my Sapphire Flask active, but sometimes the mobs just kill you and you don't even really know what's going on. Like a water pillar will spawn, and nothing will charge you, but you'll still die. You're so familiar You're so similar in many ways. I'm mind blown. Me caveman, me similar. I think honestly, listen. I know that what I said may map onto your experience very similarly. Like you learn, you're probably thinking, man, that's how I learn as well. I think that's how a lot of men learn. I think men have. This is one of the. I don't really think there's that many differences between men and women's society, or I think that a lot of the differences are particularly pronounced, like and made out to be like more than they really mean. Like I think a lot of our differences are exaggerated societal consequences. But I will say the way our brains work. I think there's some subtle differences in the way that we make connections. It seems like women are really oriented towards the like textbook, packet, learn by, I guess like not, it doesn't need to be applied. Like women can, they seem to like memorize things very well. For me, it has to be like, I have to do the thing. I have to go do the fucking thing. I didn't get good at Dota just watching BSJ videos. Like eventually you watch BSJ video enough, but then you gotta go play the game. Personally, I think anyone can learn art if it's in their interest. A lot of people think it's a talent. You either have or don't, but in reality, it's just a skill you have to put thousands of hours into, just like anything else. I'd agree. I mean, also you say art. When we say art, what is art? Art, there's like, because like within art, I think you guys were talking about drawing, so that's probably what you guys meant, right? I think I was making the decision as to whether or not I want to capture any of the ritual altars here, because apocalyptic is a special ritual altar type. This one gave me shit. This one gave me uniques, and I think I saw one screen of div cards. Sometimes these ritual altars, the apocalyptic ones, will give you like a full screen of div cards. Like I said, I think we saw one of those pages. And even like when you see a page of uniques, this is not a defeated, like this is not a bad outcome, because sometimes you can see like a mage blood. But I would much rather see div cards. I really do believe that there should be universal basic income. I would agree. Like, I'm usually called a right winger, but I don't like labels. I like ideas, not because they're allegiance, but because we're stuck one dimensional. I think there should be a UBI because I feel like we're at a point in society where we need to start considering what's going to happen when automation takes over more and more of the workplace. We already see it happening. We already see it happening, and we know from experience based off of trying to retrain people that retraining is difficult. Retraining people from one industry to a totally completely different industry is difficult to say the least. It's very difficult to get someone who's like a welder for 40 years to just sit down and learn how to code. And so like what do you say though to the welder who might eventually one day have a 5,000 piece of equipment, 5,000 pound piece of equipment replace their job? Go learn something else, man. I don't know, because the argument on the other end is that, and the other end is always going to be saying that. They're always going to be saying, well, what does everyone get the pass? Does every field, every industry that's subject to automation, just all of those workers always get complete compensation, 100%? Maybe, I don't know. I can see there being logistic issues on the other end. I'm just gonna say that. There's a lot of baby boomers that feel like disgruntled even about the way the world is going because of things like automation, the unsuredness of the next presidential election. And then yeah, things like culture war issues though that I think are so stupid. Like I really do think that the conservative the people, like, I can't say my parents. My parents are pretty left leaning, but I don't know. People like most people's parents. You grow up in the Midwest, and you have a set of parents that are probably going to be religious, just like statistically speaking. I feel like those people bit the bait so hard on culture war issues that they're not talking about anything that's anything. Like, they're talking about trans people. That's like less than 1% of the population. When, things like automation. Well, I don't know. We had a whole political arc on this stream where we talked about all these subjects, but. Besides the things under the art umbrella, but specifically drawing and painting and graph art or digital is what I'm referring to. Yeah, I figured. Jake, you are actually pretty big into. I don't want to say painting, but I feel like I remember seeing on your Facebook some pretty cool creations that you've made. Either at UNL or I shouldn't say UNL, but for a class, I think it used to be your profile picture, I think. In a non-corrupted, non-rotten world, automation would be the beginning of a post-scarce society. But you'd think, but also consider people will always want something. So I have to think like Wall-E. Did you ever see the movie Wall-E? In a world where we don't have to work to produce a good chunk of the things that we enjoy today, I think the bar will just continue to raise. Wall-E was supposed to be, or I don't know what Wall-E was supposed to be, but to me, when I saw the movie Wall-E, it kind of represented that attempt of a world without scarcity, where the humans are all minding their own things, like to their own devices, large, and sitting in their little chairs that drive automatically and show screens to them every single day, shove screens in front of them that, you know, keep them distracted and basically mindless and in their own devices, and none of them talk to each other or have any connections with each other. And eventually, like, so that's like half the movie. That's like maybe 25% of the movie. I guess the first 25. Actually, a lot of that movie is set up. Like the first 25% of Wall-E is just Wall-E messing around, meeting Eve, and then like doing his job in the old world before finally getting on the new ship, right? And then meeting the people or whatever in the conditions and stuff. It's actually a really good movie. I really like that movie. Wall-E is a really good movie. But anyways, what I was trying to say was or I guess what I was trying to say can be built off of what you were saying, so let's read it. The companies and elites will probably not want this because their money and power will become worthless in my opinion. I never went to school for it, but yeah, I haven't made anything new recently. I did revise an old one, though, a few months ago. Well, what you have on your Facebook profile, what you had, I should say. The piece that you had on Facebook was dope. I remember thinking that and thought that you were doing something with art specifically, because I saw that and I thought it was really cool. But what was I trying to say? Because we were talking about... Fuck, what were we talking about? What happened to my brain? I just farted. My brain just completely pooped on itself. I'm experiencing brain rot. ADHD, man. We're talking about Wall-E, and then I was trying to relate the humans in that movie to us. And talk about us. We were talking about post-scarcity in a world where we don't want for anything, and how you see automation being the first step towards that. I'm not sure if I agree. Like, well, in fact, I'm not sure I agree, and I'm not sure I agree because of the reasons that we're seeing right before our eyes, right? Currently, the industry I was trying to get into, tech, is seeing a big wave of, I guess, turnover or like jobs being lost to perception of how automation is changing the game. There's I could be like over assuming how much I understand about it, but basically the position of a junior developer is going away, as I understand it, and the idea the companies are going to or are leaning in more towards now is we should be able to hire people that, well, we shouldn't be hiring people to train them to do the job. The people that we hire should be able to come in and be able to do the job immediately. So, and you saw this, first you saw this at Twitter with like the Elon Musk taking over X and laying off over half the company. And then you saw, very real, you did see this happen like with Facebook, Amazon, and Microsoft. They all followed suit, and they started laying off, hundreds of thousands of people. And what am I trying to say from this? I'm trying to say from this that I think this is like the start of the automation takeover, and it's not what we thought it was or should have been. I guess supporting your point, which is that in an ideal world, automation would mean good things. But in the world we live in, the clown show that we live in, it's not. In the world that we live in, I shouldn't say the clown show, because we only live in reality, and I'm not trying to say that we don't. I'm not trying to act like we don't. And I think it's most important to identify the reality that we live in and act like it is what it is. I don't think it's very useful to like joke around or whatever. Like we live in this world, and in this world, if you are working in an industry currently that is at risk of being, I guess, you're working a position that is subject to being absorbed by the capabilities of automation. That spells a big worry for you. You know, it's not actually a good thing, like you might think it is in the perfect world that you're talking about. We can't just put you. We can't just take you and say, hey, you get a, you know. You gotta pat yourself on the back and go find something new. And we do say that, basically. That's actually effectively what we do say. Hey, you were working a job that got absorbed by automation. Well, hey, good work there, and now go find something new, because you can't do that no more. It's like that's kind of what we do say currently, but probably shouldn't be that way. Or at least it should probably be a little bit more. It should be an elegant transition, right? But anyways, I know you said you had to go. It's good talking to you, Weed Lord. Take care. Peace out. Actually, you say you want to go. You're gonna go sleep, and that makes me wonder where you live, because it's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon for me. But anyways, take care, my friend. Peace out. It was good talking to you. Jake coming in with, I agree. Automation under non-capitalist structure would be great for humanity, but right now it's being developed and used for private profit. I think. Yeah, I guess I don't know. I've tried to have my criticisms of like how a socialist superstructure would take to automation, but it's hard to say. I guess I haven't looked into China too much. I don't even really consider China communist anyways, but I haven't looked into how. Well, it's weird too. How do we define automation even? Because like, yeah, on the one hand, automation can mean human jobs being replaced by more advanced technology, more productive technology that less humans need to operate to have more productive output for. All right, that could be the definition of automation. And that it could be as simple as that, meaning the concept of automation only needs to be as simple as that for it to have the effect that we're projecting it's having, which is hundreds of thousands of people losing their jobs. Like, that phenomenon could explain away why people are losing their jobs. But I think it's more than that. Like, I think it's that companies are like projecting how much they should be able to take away from their companies with how advanced they're seeing automation get. And so like Twitter, I know they had to hire people back because they fired too many people. I feel like there's like an interim period that we're entering where companies want to like take this big overestimation where they're like, we can cut off the fat of our companies and make double, make triple. We literally don't need a third to a half to 2/3 of the people that we have working for us right now, and that's an insane amount of money that we could obviously save on labor. But in making that transition, there's like losses that have to be recouped. There's mismanagement, there's there's Twitter crashing, and this is all old news that I'm talking about, right? Like this, my channel would be a lot better if I was a politics channel covering current news, because everything we're talking about right now is like old, and it's kind of conspiracy leaning. Like, I know you're saying you didn't want to have a conspiracy oriented conversation, but inevitably the conversation we're talking about, since we're talking about like, it's grand, it's like rapping, it's like we're like talking about a lot of different subjects, and we're trying to like broach over them, tie them together in ways that, I don't know, I think it's inherently conspiratorial, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Conspiracies aren't a bad thing to talk about, and I'm entertaining the conversation, so like I'm just as much part / here for it as anybody else. Don't feel like I'm trying to stay on the outside. I'm not on the outskirts poking this conversation with a prod. One last thing to think about. If every job is automated, to whom will they sell their products and services to? Post-scarcity is inevitable, but be it via force, an uprising in the end? I don't think so, because, well, okay, let's assume maybe you'll watch this VOD, right? And so maybe I'm not just arguing with nobody. What to address what you said, right? And you'd love to have a chat with me sometime in voice, for sure, dude. I could talk to anybody. To address what you said, though, in a post-scarcity world, or in a world where rather not, because I don't think that's the argument. I don't think it be post-scarcity. You're assuming it, or you're not assuming it, but you're saying, like, picture this, and I'm saying I can't picture this. And the reason I can't picture this is because in the world, if I can maybe picture a world where people don't buy things, but if people aren't buying things, I still see people trading. Like, I still see people saying, you have something I want and I don't have it currently, so I'm going to go get it. Now, whether they have to buy that thing or they have to trade it or they have to, I don't know. People will always want, is what I'm saying. There will always be a person out there that has something that somebody else wants. And that creates, like, that creates a human emotion that, like, marketing and industries move in on, right? When somebody wants something that somebody else has, that emotion is what's being preyed on. It's not the other way around. It's not like these things are existing and then people are having these emotions because these systems exist. Like, if you think that people only want things in their brains, people only experience the human emotion of jealousy, humans only experience the human emotion of FOMO because big companies exist, then boy, I've got another thing to tell you. Oh boy. I'm not even a religious person, and I would start like quoting Adam and Eve or like some old biblical stories. Like, man, people if I had a rock that was color red and I called it George and I was a caveman, somebody would kill me for that rock. Somebody would kill me because I have an imaginary friend that they thought is real. Okay, people are fucking and again, and my point isn't that. My point is that because that exists is why people always want. So it's kind of, my point is that. It's like, my point is that, so because that's real. Because it's real that people just want what other people have, period. There will always be desire. There will never be a post-scarcity world. You won't have a world where, oh yeah, we have machines that make our food. We have machines that make our goods. We have machines that perform our services. You will still have that person that's like, they're like running the block, I guess is the best way to put it. That person that's like, oh, they're doing it, so I should do it. They're doing it, so I want to do it. And then people like follow them en masse. I don't know, celebrities, I guess. But like, you see this concept broken down in school. You see this concept broken down in smaller levels, and it's where like societies like congregate. It's like you have like, you can see this happen in little kids, like little girls. Little girls form like power hierarchies that and it's not just little girls too, but like you can see it very blatantly with like little girls and little boys. They like I want to lean towards Lord of the Flies or fictional movies, but then you'd say, oh, well, that's just a fictional movie. But I mean, to be fair to me, they are fictional movies that attempt to describe the organization of society, and they've won awards for them, right? Like Lord of the Flies is a pretty widely, like I was forced to watch it in school, for instance. Oh, you're here? I thought you... Shit. I did not realize that. Hey, you want to talk right now? Are you? Are you in my Discord? No? I thought you said you had to go. Oh, but all the automated factories are in the hands of, let's say, 2,000 billionaires. They trade between themselves for what? Well, no. Because remember, what I'm talking about is the concept of you're at school and someone else in your class has a t-shirt that you want. A t-shirt that makes them cool. Or their haircut is different. And you like that, or something along those lines. That desire to want something that you can't have, or something that somebody else has that you do want, that'll always be there. I don't think that'll just go away magically when we develop such sophisticated technology that it starts flipping burgers for us. You know, a 100% automated society is unlikely, but we definitely will reach a point where a certain percent is automated and will break the capitalist system, as we've already explained. I don't even know if that's true. Because ultimately, what you're trying to accomplish in saying when you say it'll be broken, the idea of bartering will be broken. The people will no longer want to. They just won't want things like the post scarcity society. Remember, post scarcity. I think this is a concept that exists in economics. This isn't just something we brought up and talked about for the first time ever on this Twitch stream. Was this brought up by Thomas Sowell? Hilariously enough, this guy's a jokester, so I hope he wasn't the first person to come up with this concept or term. Let's check this out. Post-scarcity is a theoretical economic situation in which most goods can be produced in great abundance with minimal human labor needed, so they can become widely available. Or I'll read it verbatim. So they become available to all very cheaply or even freely. Post-scarcity does not mean that scarcity has been eliminated for all goods and services, but that all people can easily have all of their basic... okay. I guess this is the part I wanted to emphasize, but you guys probably understand this too. I just don't know if I don't know if we are acknowledging this part of the conversation. That post-scarcity does not mean scarcity has been eliminated for all goods and services, but that just all people have their basic survival needs met, along with a significant proportion of their desires for goods and services. You'll still have that kid in school that is just cooler than the rest of kids, and other people try to copy them, but to varying degrees of success and hierarchies for form. And it doesn't just have to happen, and it's not just going to be one kid or whatever. I'm just saying hierarchies will still form. We'll still see people. It's not even impossible for me to imagine a post-scarce society where people are like able to be confused enough about the status of the society they live in, where people can be convinced from within a post-scarce society that they're not living in a post-scarce society, if that makes sense. Through market, bro, that would be the way that the capitalist superstructure would maintain itself. Oh yeah, we're nearing towards a post-scarce society. Well, what can we do to best combat this? Well, obviously we need to artificially create demand. We need to tell people that they need this super valuable gold will come back. Unironically, gold never had a very good use throughout history, but it was always pursued because of its aesthetic purpose, because of its aesthetic, because people just like the way that it looks, right? People will do that. People will find arbitrary shit. We'll just find random things to start like developing religions for, basically. We will find random things to act as though they need to exist, and there's only so much of it, and you gotta get it because there's that's like a money thing, not a money thing. That's like a human thing, but it is especially a way for some humans to make a fuck ton of money. 100% automated says, okay, but being cool isn't a good. Being cool isn't a good, but that desire comes from that desire. It's like your desire is not. I don't want to speak you, me. Okay, outside of us. And probably even within like everyone is manipulated by this emotion to some extent. The things that drive you to buy certain things that are not like money, not money, food. Like when you need to go buy something, and especially if that good is not a food, there are so many things that are going on in your brain telling you what to buy that it is not just the desire or the need to buy that thing. In fact, it likely isn't even something that you need, because if it is something like food, well, food is something you need. But how often do you buy things that are not food? Very often, right? And you already have shelter. I'm going to assume that's a given, something that you don't buy too often, something that you perhaps regularly pay for. But the main purchase that you make, and the main purchases that you make when you spend your money when you go out and spend your money, you're going to spend your money on food stuff, and then other things like wants, maybe like gas in your car. We'll say you need that. But how about some other things that you need? I'd venture to say 70% of the things that you buy in a day-to-day basis are not things that you absolutely 100% need to live, but you nevertheless buy them and convince yourself that like, oh, I kind of need this to live. And I guess my point is that I think those things will still exist. I think you'll still have these things that you don't really need, that aren't even really part of the like equation of your life, but that you'll say that you need them. and somebody will have convinced you that you needed them. And because of that, you will be able to be made into a consumer of that thing. Like somebody said you need it, and because they said you need it, you're gonna go buy it, and you're gonna go buy it from that person or somebody similar. And I think that'll still exist in a post-career. Here's a great example. Here's a great example, actually. I can't believe it took me this long to come up with one. Drugs. Bro, I don't think, like, weed, I don't think weed's ever gonna, I'm sure it's hard for me to imagine the world where weed becomes free, or like there's a post-scarce world made around weed, because there's so much money made by so many, I don't know if you'd call them like malicious actors or what. It's like a, I'm trying to imagine too different of a world when I think about certain pleasures being, what's the opposite of commodified? I guess like nationalized and made for public use, made free for at the point of consumption. Could you imagine that? Like a state syndicated, like, oh, your tax dollars pay for this weed that's distributed or some shit like that. It wouldn't even be your tax dollars, right? In a post-scarce world, you wouldn't have a need for any of that shit. The robots would just run and make these goods, and you would just go need them and access them when you need and access them, right? Okay, guitars, let's go to Mars, and when we are self-sustaining, let's declare our independence. I don't know, I am talking about something else at this point. I think a good example is Amazon. They run on labor that's constantly churning out people and bringing in new people, because the longer people work, the more they expect to raise, want to unionize, more benefits, etc. Yeah, so they incentivize workers to quit after however many months, with bonuses or school tuition, and bring in new people. They're starting to run out of people who haven't already worked at Amazon. Is that a real thing, by the way? Are you being serious when you say Amazon is actually starting to run out of people to hire that fit that part of their business model? Not that automation leads to post-scarcity under capitalism, but to its demise. I see. I think that's like a much more fair term, or take, I'd say. How about the take that automation will it is throwing a monkey wrench in the hands of people that thought their good or service was going to be a forever thing? In the hands of people that thought, surely this thing that I sell to people that doesn't actually need to be in their lives, but costs money, or at least I can charge them money, and they don't bat an eye on it. These things in our society, we'll start to look at them a lot differently when they don't cost $30 to access. Yes, in some states they're having a hard time hiring because of this issue. That'd be something to research. I'm interested to hear about, or to like learn about that. I know Leo, I don't know, Amazon's one of those places that I always hear about from afar as being a terrible place to work. They need unions immediately, but Bezos and the company at large like crack down on that kind of thing, and it's a terrible place to work. But up close, like when I see people that drive for Amazon, when I talk to them at the store, or even just like looking into the company myself, they don't seem like they'd be a terrible place to work for. Don't they pay like, I think you can, like, starting pay at Amazon is usually 15, no matter where you are, and they have pretty flexible hours from what I've read. Working for Amazon. How do you survive working at Amazon? I survived several years and had a good career. Here's my tip: have a thick skin. Don't think that. I don't think. I get the vibe that Amazon's one of those places that you hear a lot more about it being a bad place to work than it actually probably is. Tesla strikes me as the opposite. Tesla strikes me as a company that probably is terrible to work for, but that when you hear about it, it feels like people are always praising it. They're always praising oh, you work for Tesla, you get like a full, you get payback on, you get reimbursement with stock, and you get no, you get to work for Elon, bro. You're so fucking cool and shit. I don't know. Thanks for the combos. You're truly thankful. I'm glad that you're thankful for these and that you get something out of this. I'm glad I'm not just barking into the void, okay? I'm glad that somebody's getting something out of my streams. But peace out, Weeb Lord. Peace out, Jake. I love both of you. Take care. This is a good conversation. Maybe I can pound Ritual a little bit quicker now. I should be rerolling. I don't know what I'm doing. You know what I'm doing? I'm just not paying attention enough. Enhance. How much is Enhance this league? I bet a level 3... we could look it up. A level 3 Enhance is probably like a div. This gem takes a while at a level, but... I think gem qualities... Yeah, it's literally a div. Gem qualities become... good. A valuable... a coveted stat. It's worth deferring, but then I don't even... like, reroll and then be sad if I see divs. Can I still... It's one more free reroll, damn it. I'm gonna take it. Okay, I didn't see a... you know, I'm not seeing something that's making me sad, so I'm okay with this reroll. If there was a mirror, then I would be very sad. I'd probably break my monitor. I wouldn't break my monitor, but that'd be funny. Okay. Let's pound some maps. Let's, like, really pound some maps. I want to level at some point. I want to hit level 100 on this character. Plus, I also want to take this character's damage to the moon. I feel like I already should be able to do that. We moved the Sigil of Power on trigger cast setup, so I used to have a lightning golem here. I did the POB, and like Sigil of Power is way more damage when it's charged. It's kind of hard to charge it, but if I mean, my build's tanky enough, I could theoretically just stand still, I think. I don't know. Whenever I start telling myself I can stand still, it's like I have to remind myself, I am playing PoE. You can't usually stand still in this game, so I don't know what I'm going to do about that. But other than Sigil of Power, we haven't made any adjustments. Other than adding Sigil of Power to the trigger setup. Pretty high level 1 too. It takes a little bit to charge this here. How quickly do we charge it? This is another problem, is my mana region's not hard. I need to be leeching to even charge it, because I'm never going to charge this just casting like this. Look at this. Like every other cast I have to attack because my mana region isn't quickly enough to keep up with the casts. It's pretty embarrassing. This character is a leecher, that's for sure. We are a leecher. Let me turn this off. Display capture is like destroying my encoding. Ice Nova pop. Okay, cool. I actually don't think this character dies to an Ice Nova from a strong box. Funnily enough, the milestones we make now that we've gotten our cold res up to 80%, the flask 82%. Oh, that's because I have a defense flask or a defense shrine going. A semi-defense shrine going from the League Mechanic. Somebody said that on my YouTube channel. I need to, dude, I need to remember this. After this stream, I said I would configure the chats. That's what I'll do. I'll get a plugin for the chats. Our DPS is pretty good. I think if I took this character up to like 10 mil DPS on just Power Siphon, I'd feel pretty good about it. I think we're at 6 mil right now, so I've got a little bit further to go. I got a new necklace, some new gloves, and we'd probably be we'd be in the money. I could get I could get a corrupted implicit on my boots for plus aura effect. Well, plus 2 levels to auras, which would boost the level of, you know, Wrath by 2 levels. That'd be some damage. Discipline, I do scale damage off of Discipline because Discipline gives me ES, and I have Transfiguration of Soul right up here. So we get damage from Energy Shield. I clear the ritual. We did. I think this character's been good, like a solid project to work on. I just don't like how I don't like how it feels like the damage scaling is linear, but I think that's more my fault than anything, and not understanding really how to take an int stacker to the moon. Because, you know, I mean, I'm only scaling Power Siphon. I don't have another skill that I'm using, and I think Power Siphon, on account of the fact that it doesn't have like multiple projectiles and stuff, it just, well, Val Power Siphon does, but I can't scale like 15. I could put Return Proj, theoretically. I could put Return Proj and then get double projectiles, but then that would reduce the hit damage by like 60%. It would be too much of a damage nerf. Return Proj is kind of a shit gem for that reason. But I don't know. It feels like Power Siphon is one of those skills that you never really get to do insane damage with due to the nature of the skill and how it works. I could be wrong. In fact, I know I'm wrong, kind of. I feel like I'm wrong because I have looked on PoE Ninja, and I do see some Power Siphon builds doing like 40, 50 million DPS. Of course, I think that's POB, right? That's got to be POB because that's PoE Ninja, and PoE Ninja goes on POB numbers, I think. So who's to say that they're doing something that's, or well, it's just like those are POB numbers. And see, like here, I probably shouldn't have hit it because we got this twisted distant, and it's only 9C. But I can't defer it. I don't have enough money. Shouldn't even hit the defer button there, but I did it anyways because I'm epic. Because I don't play by rules that are not ones that I establish for myself. I'll hit this button. Shit on my fire res. Yeah, fuck my fire res. Screw that, man. We're dangerous. We've got the Omen. I'm safe. Oh goodness. I heard a pop. Double fortunate. That's what I'm talking about. Was that because of the... Look at this fire damage that I'm taking over time. Did I hit the lucky there? Yeah, div cards. Dupin. Burning damage. I'm probably gonna die on this map. Burning ground. 33% fire res. It's a wrap. Oh, that's right. I added in Call to Arms with the Enduring Cry, and since I took off my necklace or my rings, that I took off Shavron's Revelation. Shavron's Revelation is the ring that I had on that was turning off my energy shield recharge, but because I no longer have that slotted in, I now regenerate like 2,000 energy shield every few seconds. Right there, 2,100 energy shield every few seconds from Enduring Cry. It's pretty sick. It's an insane defensive layer. I'm also taking some... I think I'm still taking these. No? I had some points here that were able to... In fact, I still could. Yeah. I have enough decks. I have enough everything now. I should do this. I shouldn't be lazy about this. Here, I'll do it after this. Because I was just thinking this earlier. I was like, you know, I need to recraft these rings at some point, but they're good enough for now. And I should have more stats from rolling them this way. Because, okay, so you may have seen in my video yesterday, I dropped this off of Ritual. +1 max power charge ring. It's insanely, like, it's a chase item. You don't usually find things like this. I got incredibly lucky. Basically the kind of thing that if I didn't find it, I wouldn't farm it. So we should be able to take the build to another height, a new height with a find like this. So I've been leaning into that. I purchased the Calandra's Touch ring, which reflects your other ring. So now I have effectively 2 of this ring. And so when it says +38 strength, what it actually means is +76. And I'm scaling my attributes with Eyes of the Great Wolf +33% attributes. So our strength is pretty healthy. Our dex is pretty healthy. And we should, just in general, we should be good to start leveling our gems to the maximum level, which we are, if we want to. And more importantly than that, I should be totally fine to convert some of these attributes on the tree from strength into cooldown recovery on war cries, or guard skills, I should say. Well, guard skills, war cries, I think war cry for enduring cry uptime, but you can do it on guard skill. You can do like increased duration for guard skills too, which works on Immortal Call, which is pretty absurd. Bit of a ramp with our dips. I don't like that. I don't like that lightning damage is so variable that you kind of have to just sit here and smack, especially while leeching. Gotta sit here, smack while leeching. Sigil of Power, yeah, small. Okay, I could die here too because mine is fire res, you know. And then here's the big boy. What's our dips looking like? It's all right, dude. I really don't mind our damage, but I just wish it was more consistent. That's the, yeah, that's it. That's literally just it. I just wish our damage was more consistent. But whatever. I want the blue juice. Give me the blues. Jesus. I really don't want to die. I want to just naturally level off of maps to level 100. I consider that a marker of a good character. A litmus test. Can your character just naturally get to level 100? Farming maps. Farming juiced as flip content. Juice to Jesus. We're finding some pretty good juice. Speaking of juice. Remember, when you're doing rituals to completely clear everything, the little minions that spawn from your altars, everything, clear everything near a ritual. Because when the ritual minions spawn, what's actually spawning is the minions that you killed. These minions that are spawning, these are just minions that I already killed that were near the ritual altar. And also minions that spawned in previous rituals in your maps. Including bosses and unique monsters. So there we go, we complete the ritual, we hit the reroll. I should have checked. There's a shield over here that was buzzing like a synth. I should have at least looked at it. It was a mistake not to look at it. Hit the deferments. Hold up, I gotta check something, okay. Crimson Temple, we do buy maps, but not usually when they're that expensive. What's this? Why is it showing up? It's +1 to all spells. It's probably terrible. As a dagger. I guess I could check. I mean, that's a rare mod to find on a dagger, I think. Hold up, we gotta... What? Just a tri-res... gloves with a Tupahatas mod. Is that what's selling right now? Tupahante. Puarte. Puaharte. My homie Puaharte. Puaharte. 57% increased crit, and oh, I can't forget about the lightning. So the lightning res is, that's why the lightning res was so nutty. It was the Puahartes. Okay. Was I done re-rolling this, or did I just waste a... Okay, no, I wasn't. This is kind of got to make a choice here. I'm just gonna keep rolling and save all of it. Cannot be maimed. Fire dot multi. Cast speed with lightning. Attack speed. This could actually still be worth something to fire dot, because we got this is useful. Cannot be maimed is really useful. Fire dot multi is 8%, And this is technically a useful stat. I'm going to buy this and sell it for a Divine to a Righteous Fire Inquisitor. +1 all spells. Exalted Orbs, Chevrons, Wrappings. How much is Shavs? I didn't actually check the price of Shavs this league. We're just going to buy out here, I think. This thing is piece of crap. Piece of crap. Okay. Go ahead and put you up for a div. Put you up. And then we zoom in. Do I have the Corrupting Tempest? Did I just select that? Hold up. No, good. I want to stay on this. Also, my Atlas. I'm taking Final Boss. I kind of want to dip into some of these nodes because I want to keep farming map crafting options. I'm trying to test everything I can. I guess we'll stick with Quant for now. This is increased damage over time. 5 passive jewels are actually useful. 6 passives is when it starts to add an extra point that you have to path around. That being said, this late in the league, a 5 passive jewel for damage over time is not that useful, even at high level, so we're just going to go ahead and ignore its existence. Deli's one of those mechanics that you can make a fair amount of money trading, especially early on in the league, the cluster jewels, but they're such a pain in the ass to... They're basically always a pain in the ass to trade. There's no bulk trading Deli jewels, really, that I can think of. Maybe I'm wrong on this, but I can't imagine somebody buying a bulk. I could, because it's my... It goes... The motto is, the saying goes, that you should, when you're going to craft, you should craft multiple bases. Always craft multiple bases, right? You should, generally speaking, that's good advice. If you're going to craft something, craft it in multiple bases, but... I don't know. Cluster jewels, I feel like, if you're going to craft a cluster, you usually just throw it on, like, a harvest bench for some shit. What is this map's? Yeah, 60% reduced extra from crits. That's usually the most badass, like, they ignore my damage mod. Because I think most of my damage is coming from crit multi-scaling. It's certainly a crap ton of it. I'm getting 500% multi. In fact, it's probably even higher now since I added an extra power charge. Yeah, 589, that checks out. 589 crit multi with 2 extra power charges since we last checked. So when they take 60% extra, reduced extra, that's basically slashing that from 590 to like 300% or something. They're taking like 200% less damage. Pretty brutal. Some rough napkin math for you. And the deli ends. My map's coming to a close. The juice has been thoroughly extracted. We'll be looking for that evac. Oh, dude, that'd be a pretty dope microtransaction. Like, imagine a microtransaction where instead of your character's portal, it's like a... Like, there's like a half a second animation of like a helicopter appearing over your character. And then a ladder spawns down. And you click on the ladder to re-enter your character's hideout. I actually think that should be a portal. That'd be dope. I'd buy it. I'm not like big into army iconography or anything like that. I just think that'd be, you know, you're like evacing out. It's like, yeah, boys, get me out of this fucking map. Parachute me out. Stand on the sigil. Double the dips. Oh, dude, look at this. Oh, I was gonna say, no damage. Look at this ZTPS build. It's okay. We always do damage eventually. If we stand and hit for long enough and leech for long enough, eventually the Sigil of Power it'll force our damage to get good. Look at that. 3 mil. 3 mil and going up on a max stage. If I hop off it, it goes down to 2.29. Apparently my damage actually ramps just by, even without Sigil of Power. What am I ramping with? Oh, it's rage. Of course, of course. Rage ramps my damage too. Because the attack speed benefit. Okay. That checks out. That checks out. Okay. Not a lot of tribute this map. That's sad. We got a level 15 anger. I'm probably... I've used up all of my ritual luck. I don't think I'm due anything else ever again. Like, I'll never find a mirror now. I will never find anything. Blanching, that's useful. What's this? Max mana, but it's only +3. That can't be... I mean, there's no way this is worth anything, right? Oh. Oh? Do I just skip on the rerolls, man? Like, I don't know. That's worth 40 chaos. I'm gonna buy that. I'm curious as to, am I gonna find something that's gonna make me cry? Armor. I think we skip. And then we immediately skip. There's really nothing to look at here. And then we just do this reroll. Attack leeches mana. Am I reading that correctly? As a fracture. I think I hear a storm brewing outside. I want to make move. Oh, dude, I gotta go take Ko out too. Damn, man. Let me check my phone. I might be ending the stream early. Okay, I definitely could see it ending in like an hour or two. It's the forecast says it's got a 60% likelihood of raining at 6 o'clock in a few hours here. It said 40 chaos or 30 chaos. I'll throw it up for 30. We're out of maps. And we've got some of these. Let's go like this. Wait, we need to be in the map shit thing. And then we go to dunes. And then we go to corrupted, and then we just pull the maps out. And then it's nice and mindless. I don't have to think that much. This is why this is similar to like cooking food, where you should cook all of your food on one day. What's it called? Meal prep, right? So that then when you go to access your food, it's all kind of mindless. You just get your food, you pull it out, eat it. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to make it. You don't have to think about making it, you know. You gotta save so much time with respect to cooking. Meal prepping is a huge, it's a game changer with time efficiency. It's also something I don't do that much, so I should probably take my own advice. In fact, I should meal prep. Like I'm kind of convincing myself right now. Just when I want to change something about my life, I just gotta think about it for more than a few seconds, and then I just start to like, oh yeah, I really could just go do that. I really should, because meal prepping is actually the super big way to save time. If you spend an hour a day cooking, and I could instead spend like 2 to 3 hours cooking everything that I would eat on one day a week, then you're saving like 4 or 5 hours. You're saving like effectively 60 to 70% of your time. It's insane, the efficiency, because so much time when I'm gonna go cook goes into thinking about what I want to cook. It would make buying food easier too. When you know what you're gonna cook, you don't need to think too much about any. It's just like, it's really just planning, dude. Planning everything out. When is planning ever a bad thing? Here we are. Damn, we're hitting duds. This is unfortunate. This is not how this is supposed to go. The artist, I don't even know what this diff card does. But sure. I'll defer this just because it's free, basically, when I buy it. It's like going to be 200 tribute. It's a fundamental fossil, too, which is attribute rolling. Which I need, because I'm going to eventually be doing... I'm doing everything and anything and everything I can to avoid the Necropolis League mechanic for crafting. Which is probably stupid. Like, I need it for my challenges anyways, if I'm going for that. And I probably should. Because, like, they're just right there. I don't even have to do that many. I've already done over half of them. Although it's the other half that are the hard part, right? Any hybrid flask. Is there really a vendor recipe for that? Is it a health flask and a mana flask and a fusing orb? That's probably what it is. That is actually probably it. Recipe hybrid flask. It is literally just that. Sacred Life, Sacred Mana, Orb of Fusing. So they need to be the same, like, type. Okay. Let's do that then. Is it, let's click on Life. Let's click on Sacred. These are Divine. Let's click on you. Let's type Sacred. Now this is Divine, Sacred, Eternal. Let's do it. Divine. Pull you out. Has to be a fusing orb. Do they have to be the same type of rarity? No. Dope. Instilling orb. I did not know that there was a vendor recipe for this. Is it just going to be... Well, what is it? Instilling orb PoE. Recipe, sorry, recipe. Enkindling orb, trigger gem, orb of alchemy. What? A trigger gem? What? Okay, wait, like, so just do 2 of these. Type in trigger. Yeah, I guess it would be like a... Yeah, cast when damage taken. And then Orb of Alchemy. Okay. Interesting. Peddler's Produce. Pog Champ. Okay then. Enigmatic Essences. Oh god, I gotta farm Essences. I have to farm Abyss. Heist, although complete item level 78 or higher level blueprints with 4 wings. I'm pretty much there, right? Like, I have the blueprints. I do have the coins. Type in wings. So that's 3. No, type in 4 wing. Okay, so you. Yeah, we're just there. Oh, wait, hold up. This is 3. So we're already there. No, this is 3. I don't know size. I don't know. Okay, cool. I mean, we're not necessarily there, right? Did it say 3 more? So 1, 2. Okay, I need 1 more. Heralding Harbingers. I did a few Harbingers at League Start. I need to use a Harbinger's Orb. That's very simple. So these 2 feed into each other of completing beachheads, and then I need to okay, I can do that right now. Harbinger's Orb is here, and then we go to you. And so the idea behind this is you find tier 15s that you want to it actually doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if these are, like, can you even, there's no dunes, but yeah. It doesn't actually matter which ones I use. Yeah. So let's just pull them out. And I think they have to be unidentified. So then let's just boom. And look for beachheads. We did not find very many beachheads. And we might need more Harbinger's Orbs. Okay. Right, I think they need to be identified. Yeah, target is not identified. Nice. Nice. I think that's it, right? There's just 3? Yeah. Okay, so the cool thing about beachheads is they actually give quite a bit of experience. Or, okay, actually, I'll put it this way. The cool thing about beachheads is they're a very safe map that's pretty hard to rip in, and they give okay experience. So let's just run these right now. No, okay. I don't think these matter, actually. We can just keep these in. I don't think they don't do anything. Like, they won't actually... Yeah. So the cool thing, or I don't, unique maps cannot be altered by scarabs or any. No, I think they could be altered by fragments. I'm not even sure about that. I guess you should sit here and do the harvests, right? This map also, it doesn't have a loot explosion, but it does give you potentially fracturing orbs. You pretty much run the entire map by fighting harbingers, and then and also it's like a kind of like a strand map. I don't know. I like beach tile. I like the beach tile set in PoE in general. It's an appeasing map tile to look at. But then also, well, wait. Maybe it doesn't run like a strand. Does it not run like a strand? I guess it doesn't run like a strand. It runs like a completely any direction map. So it's actually not. I mean, it's okay to run. This is an enjoyable map to run. The main thing is that at the end, there's a Harbinger Giga Boss that can drop Fracturing Orbs, so... Like, full-out orbs. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know about the orbs, but he can drop shards for sure. I mean, every Harbinger boss can drop shards, but this guy drops, like, a crap ton of stuff. Also, this map, maybe does not give that much experience. I thought it used to. It used to have a mod, I thought. Like 100% increased experience of monsters in this area. I thought it just used to have that mod. Maybe it doesn't anymore. Maybe it still... Maybe it never did. Maybe I'm lying to you. Who knows? But, yeah. Ancient shards and stuff, they are effectively just harbingers. So you're getting quite a lot of harbingers farmed in this map. Here we are. Alrighty. Nice. Just don't kill me. That's all I'm asking. Be gentle with my experience bar. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Oh, we actually got in. Pog. I think. Oh, I didn't die. Sick. My character's too tanky. But I don't have portal scrolls. That's a problem. Oh, dude, we have to retrace the entire map. It's okay, we can go up now. Kill the other mobs. So I level 82 here. I didn't actually know that beachheads were not 83. Well, I mean, it further... excuse me. It further adds to my argument that you're very safe in these maps. There's not a lot that can kill you. Especially since it's unique. So you're not really rolling anything. Like, there's nothing dangerous that can happen in these maps besides the odd crit every once in a while. Go for like a semi-full clear, I guess. I think I have level 5 gems on a... no, just lightning strike. Interesting. Oops. Nice. And so this guy I think always drops unique. I'm not entirely sure, but all of these little pillars drop shards of items. So you have a lot of chances at harvest, or not harvest, harbinger stuff. I guess. I think you can see fracturing orbs anyways. I guess I don't know for sure. But not fracturing, I mean fracturing shards. And then where's the harbinger? It's essence. No, it's not essence. Harbinger is well, I don't know where I'd keep these things. Actually, where do I keep these things? I have to assemble one of these uniques. I don't even know where I'd keep one of them. Okay. Cool. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to farm one of these myself because this map really sucks. Like, it's really easy as I said. Sorry, it's really easy as I said, but it's not like I'm getting nothing. I'm getting no loot off this map, and really, I'm getting nothing period off this map. I'm not getting any XP either. Realistically, this map is meant for like level 90 to 95, I think. Third piece of focus. So these are different. This is the quiver, and then I guess this is the shield. You can see that because the Archon piece. What we should do is we should just buy the remaining piece, the third piece of directions. Sorry. We need the second piece of directions and the first piece of directions. Yes. Yes. And then we need one more Harbinger map. We have 8 more of these. We can do it. Let's pull one out. Grab it out of the hat. Oops. Pull 15. Okay. Damn. Okay. Well, let's buy a beachhead then too. Beachhead. The infused beachhead Harbinger map. Garbinger. Go Garbinger. This is not that bad of a league. Harbinger was like, I give it like a 6 out of 10. Especially with how it's kind of shaped up to be an okay, it's shaped. Yeah, I'd say it's currently a 6 out of 10. Maybe it was like a 5 out of 10 or 4 out of 10 pre-rework, pre-fracturing orbs, especially post Exalted Orb. Basically, Calandra League, I think, was the first league that it was the Exalt Divine swap was made a thing, and then because they did that, Garbinger was Garbinger for a league, but then it got buffed. They gave it fracturing orbs, and now I'd say it's pretty decent now with the amount of juice you can put on Harbinger. It's like a genuinely all right to good farming strat. I wouldn't hold it over Ritual, but you can make some serious money farming fracturing orbs. Basically, farming fracturing orbs to high-end crafters and ancient orbs to gamblers. That's going to be where the bulk of your profits come from in Harbinger. Because there's still there's no way you're picking up. There's no way you're picking up fracturing or. There's no way you're picking up Chaos Orb shards. You're probably, knowing your loot filter, you big juicer, you're probably not even picking up Chaos Orbs. I still am picking up Chaos Orbs, but that's just because I'm a little clown. And Chaos Orbs are really good this league. Or should I say they're really, they're very valuable as a rerolling currency. And I think I went too far. In fact, I'm almost certain of it. I'm going to clear this little area, though. Is it up here? Did I miss my calculations? Yes, it is. I see it like this. Harbinger is good for... It's definitely good for farming for the economy, because people need fracturing orbs for high-end crafting. So I guess you're doing a service for people. Sure, fine, whatever. Who cares about that? But it's more like your items are going to sell, and especially if you farm fracturing orbs and I guess sell them in bulk. So you're farming Harbinger for like a week, and you're farming. Yeah. If you're a target farming Harbinger, you're probably getting a lot of fracturing orbs. Like, you're probably getting shards once every map or every other map if you're juicing the crap out of Harbinger. I bet. Right, because Harbinger is one of those mechanics that you can juice reasonably well. You can juice it with Scarabs. There's some pretty good Harbinger Scarabs. Jesus, it's my posture, dude. If I just sit correctly, I don't have coughing. Got good wind movement in my pipes. It's when I start to slouch that the coughing comes in. Yo, this onslaught of non-Giga Harbingers is a little disheartening. I thought this map was over by now. Here he comes, right? Yeah, there he is. The Big Daddy. Fantastic. And a Callous Masterpiece. Okay, so we actually just got one of each Harbinger piece. Right? I think you can only get 3. I don't know. We should just check the wiki. Harbinger Uniques. UE. Actually, there's a lot more than I thought. This piece can be obtained by defeating... Okay. Or wait, is there? Deregulation Scroll. There's actually a lot of stuff you get from Harbinger. Upgrades the flow untethered. When players defeat the final Harbinger boss of an infused beachhead, one of the following Harbinger scrolls may drop. Oh. Infused beachheads. Should I have been farming that? Do I have access to the infused beachhead? No. But we've got, okay, so can I get you can find out the pieces pretty easily, but the items themselves, I have to like, this is annoying. I have to click, like, okay, the flow untethered, the fracturing spinner, the eternity divine. Is that it? What about this? Third piece of the arcane. What about this item? What is this? This is from the rippling thoughts. Okay. What are you? Are from the... Oh, this is... There's a mask. But I think I already have the mask up, don't I? I don't have the mask. The Tempest's Binding. The Fracturing Spinner. I already had that. Directions, Focus. The Archon Kite Shield. Do I have the Kite Shield pulled up? I don't. The Unshattered Will. Okay, so here's the items. Display Capture. As I seem to recall, these things are pretty dope. The Summons. The Harbinger of Focus. What does he do? Last 4 seconds. Gives you immunity to status ailments. Gives you stun and immunity, and gives you 20% damage reduction. I mean, that's pretty fucking dope. I don't think this is permanent, though. You have a 6-second cooldown. No. No, you have an 8-second cooldown. The summoning summoning this guy is a 6-second cooldown. Cool buff, but it's an inconsistent defensive buff, and well, I don't generally like those. Like, I'm not gonna get my ailment immunity from that. You know, it's too inconsistent. So that's this guy. Yeah, screw that. Let's check out this guy's Harbinger. Harbinger of Storms. Chill and shock to an enemy that chains to other nearby enemies. Whenever it says chill and shock and it doesn't say the amount, just assume 15%, I think. So this basically just means get a 15% shock on an enemy, so kind of like 15% more damage in some ways. I bet it is shock, so do with that what you will. You also get Innervate and Ice Bite. I mean, I don't like this. Good stats otherwise, though, but it's trying to be like a 6th link. This one's Harbinger of the Arcane, granting more spell damage. Hold up. What are the numbers? 30% mana, 10% attack speed. This is Arcane Surge. Oh, the Poe Wiki is out of date. Look at this. The minion will occasionally cast Arcane Surge, granting more spell damage and increased mana regen. That's cap. Arcane Surge does not grant that anymore. Arcane Surge grants cast speed. The buff has the same effect as a level 21. Ooh. Well, this is actually quite a powerful Harbinger, because this is level 21 Arcane Surge, and it just casts that on you. Not just a level 1 Arcane Surge. This one's Harbinger Brutality gives you 50% increased damage, 15% reduced, so it's almost as good as the other one, the Harbinger of Focus. 30% attack and move speed. This is powerful. This buff is insane. Also, you get level 1 chance to bleed, you get 5 block, you get 40 dot multi for bleeding from crit. Okay, so that's basically the direction you want to go in. This weapon is a bleed staff, like you could do a bleed build, I guess. Okay, interesting. Very interesting. I don't know. Beats me, quite honestly. I don't actually know how you make a character with this. I'm thinking like a duelist. Like what if you did like a gladiator? Like a gladiator enmity divine build. What's this fulcrum build? Fulcrum Poe. The fulcrum. I've heard of these chieftain fulcrum builds. Firstly, how do you get the fulcrum? It's from Heist. It's Grand Heist. Actually, I've seen this in Grand Heist before. It's quite a powerful staff. Check it out. It's got your fizz conversion, perhaps. It can roll it, right? You can roll the conversion. Then you get elemental ailments are reflected to you. Oh, I know what this build does with Chieftain. This build inflicts ignite on yourself. And then I think proliferates out the ignite. I'm familiar with this tech. I'm just gonna say that the technology that this build is using to get a ignite on yourself that effectively acts as like a righteous fire that proliferates out to enemies, that is very powerful, because the ignite damage gets scaled by the base fire damage of the hit, and Chieftain has a node in PoE that scales massive fire damage, and that node is called Hinokora Death's Fury, which is a node that gives you a 5% chance to deal 500% of an enemy's max life as fire damage. This is an absolutely insane amount of damage, and what the Chieftain does is it utilizes this damage, I think, to scale a massive ignite, and then reflect that ignite on itself, and then proliferate out that ignite out to enemies through like ignite prolif. And so this may be used to create an ignite on yourself that's capable of damaging nearby enemies. That's what a Fulcrum Chieftain is. And we should be able to check this out if we just go to Poe Ninja, because I'm just super curious. I'm probably going to get going here soon, but I want to check one of these bad boys out. Click on the Chieftain. It's actually quite a popular ascendancy, this league. And we can check out a Fulcrum, type in full 14%. These guys that have DPS that looks like it's complete potatoes, let's check these guys out. 0.3k damage, because that's like, that's interesting, right? That creates a story. It's like, oh my god, you have 7k damage? Really? No way. And it's like, actually, yeah, they do. Because look at their links. They've got curses. And then, I actually don't know how he's proliferating out. Oh, he's doing the stun health. He's doing this with Blood Notch. They add this with Blood Notch to make sure he's always getting stunned. Stun threshold is based on energy shield instead of life, and of course, because he has no energy shield, every hit is a stunning hit. But it's okay because I have Blood Notch to give me 59% of damage back. Also with Defiance of Destiny, basically makes you hit immune unless you're one-shottable, which is kind of absurd if you think about it. You don't have to invest at all into things like sustain or recovery. Now I mean, I say that, but then the build becomes kind of weak to damage over time. But then it's like, but you're chieftain. You got some built-in recovery. He's got like, well, what's his life recovery? I don't even know. It doesn't show for some reason. Is he converting this? No. He took the agnostic. So yeah, he just took the agnostic. No, he's got an elegant hubris. Yeah, he's converting the agnostic to get. Is this stat immune? Caspiro, I think Caspiro is the whole you don't have to have stats, right? And that's why he has 26 intelligence. Yeah, that explains it. He's not actually tattooing his stats. That's got to be an inefficiency in his build. Also, I think Chieftain can basically become, well, I dare say you can become attack block capped with a jewel right here called the Red Nightmare and just a bunch of fire resistance nodes that you convert with tattoos. I'm pretty sure Chieftain can use that technology to get like 70, like literally you get an absurd amount of block just from that, and then you also get a crap ton of life regen because you're getting fire resistance, which you can use to convert into life regen. You're also getting fire resistance, which is useful, you know, because you don't care about stats anymore since you're Mr. Caspiro. But you do care about resistances because you're a build in Path of Exile. Any build in Path of Exile cares about resistances. Anyways, that's cool. This is a cool build. Fulcrum Chieftain. Turn your ignites into righteous fires, basically. Cool build. Yeah, I'm gonna get going. But I love all of you. And I'll be back at some point. I'll be back at some point in the future. Okay.